Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful.
Funny things that you think's funny aren't funny.
Give me cocks all the time. I want cocks all over me.
The Alan Cox Show kicks ass, man.
Welcome.
Show me what you got.
You're not going to see a lot of cocks on TV.
Alan Cox from the Alan Cox Show.
I don't know what it's about you, but I can't even stand your voice.
I think you're the biggest asshole alive.
It's gonna be a great show.
Let's kick it. I'll say kick it, and you'll just kick it with a tasty groove, okay? 1, 2, 3, kick it. Kick it. Come on. God damn it. Could you one time kick it? What the?
Alan Cox.
Here we go. He'll ad-lib. He'll be fine.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
Hey, what's going on, gang? Good afternoon. Hi there. Greetings. Welcome. Welcome. How are you? Thank you for being here. My name's Alan Cox. Welcome. Say hi to Bill Squire. He's here, too.
Hey, creepy hugs, everyone. Thanks for listening to and watching this episode of the Alan Cox Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. A cold one with the boys.
There's Mary Santora.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
And Poundcake is back in Studio G.
Afternoon, white people.
Were you were you posting a bunch of old photos? You weren't in Massachusetts over the weekend, were you?
No.
Oh, I was like, this cat's finally getting out there. He's doing some things.
No, I wasn't in Salem.
All right.
The Salem is where Hocus Pocus takes place.
I heard the new sequel is fantastic.
It was trash.
Oh, did you watch it?
Ugh,
Hocus
we watched
Pocus
it
too?
Friday night. It was
I couldn't
so
get my daughter
bad.
to sign on to it. We were just looking for something to watch with her, and she wanted nothing to do. I know we showed first time I ever saw Hocus Pocus is when we showed it to her, like last Halloween, I think. And I can't ascertain whether or not it's any good because as a grown man, it looks like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people have to realize is you don't like Hocus Pocus. You liked Hocus Pocus when you were a kid.
No, because I think it's still kind of cute and entertaining even when I rewatch it like once a year for Halloween.
Well, it didn't go over like that at Casa Cox. So we skipped just because it was up there. I'm like, Hocus Pocus too? She's like, absolutely not. And I said, okay, but I've read mixed reviews. Did you watch it, Poundcake?
I did.
Did you sign up for Disney Plus just to watch it?
No, we had a little get-together for Erica's birthday. She turned
Erica
happy
turned
birthday.
35 years old.
Yeah, she turned a big 3-5, and so we
Yesterday.
had a little watch party at her house, and it was I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go there, drink some apple cider, just nibble on some chips, and see what it has for me. I didn't have high expectations because I already knew just from nostalgia alone, they don't have to set the bar really high. People are gonna watch it just because it's a sequel.
Plus, they're all under so much makeup that they probably don't look that different either. Kathy Najimy's actually skinnier than she was, I think,
She's
in the
skinnier.
original one.
You can tell they're older, but
Bette Midler looks the same. Sarah Jessica Parker is the one that looks like the most aged, honestly. But
Well, they've all, by my math, and I'm not good at math, admittedly, but I'm pretty sure they've all aged the same amount.
I don't think so.
But, okay, so go ahead.
well, nothing. I just think it was very awkward. It was a very awkward movie.
Awkward.
It was modern, and it just there's scenes in there. I'm not gonna. This isn't a spoiler. It's not a spoiler.
Spoil it.
It's not a spoiler though. Like they walk into a Walgreens and it just kind of grinds my gears. I'm like, that didn't need to happen.
They didn't need to walk into a Walgreens?
They didn't need to. It was
Well,
just,
That's what got you.
it was obvious product placement, and it
No.
just grind my gears.
The whole storyline of that is because the girls were tricking them, saying that they
Sure.
didn't need to suck children's souls anymore because they have lotions and things that will make you look young. So they took them to a Walgreens, and they're like, oh, lotions like potions. I get it. And they were like drinking lotions and
Listen,
stuff.
the stuff that you get there ain't what's keeping you young. You got to go to a much better place than Walgreens.
Got to go to a Sephora.
Yeah.
Was it at least mercifully short?
No, it's 2
No.
hours long.
2 hours long. It's supposed to be a children's movie. This is what happens when you let the audience tell you what to do.
I knew you were going to
This
say that.
is
I knew
exactly
you were gonna
what
say that.
happens when you crowdsource your ideas. The audience doesn't know what they want. They never know what they want. They tell you they want something, and if you give it to them, then they bitch and moan about how it's not what they wanted. No one was clamoring for a Hocus Pocus 2 sequel until all the Gen Y kid, or whatever, whoever you guys are now, millennials. Everybody's using millennials to paint everybody with a broad brush, but it's specifically that generation, like 90s kids, okay?
Right.
Whoa, Hocus Pocus 2, because Bill's right. The nostalgia is for when you were a kid. This is what happens when you let the audience tell you what to do. And it's not like the actors are going to go, no.
Right.
They want to work. They want to do stuff.
They want to make some money, but it also doesn't really lend itself to a sequel the way that it happened, especially one that's so much later. And it just doesn't. Every once in a while you can pull off that sequel where it's been 30 years. Maverick pulled it off. That's a really fun movie.
Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster.
No, not that Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. I did like that Maverick.
I was going to say, wow, Maverick
that's a good movie.
with Mel Gibson. They're card sharks on the old Mississippi. Who was the other male lead in that movie?
James
Coburn? No.
No.
Who was the young guy in Maverick with Mel Gibson?
Oh, there wasn't a young guy. There was the guy that played his dad.
Oh, James Garner. Oh,
yeah.
right. I was thinking. Oh, so Mel Gibson was the young guy in Maverick. Gotcha.
Yeah, James Garner played his dad.
Right, because that movie was 30 years ago. Because his dad, James Garner, played Brett Maverick in the old TV show that no one listening right now remembers. You mean Top Gun : Maverick.
Right. Yeah. Maverick.
Maverick. Right.
We'll shorten it to Maverick because everybody knows about the Top Gun.
Everybody in the Top Gun part.
I just feel like, along with the Browns don't have to be good because they will have a loyal fan base no matter what. So why?
This took a hard turn into sports.
Well, I'm just
He's
making
our sports guy.
He's
You know
sports
that.
guy.
I'm making the comparison.
And he's a Brown.
I am a Brown. You're correct about that.
But he's not a Cleveland Brown. He's an Oberlin Brown.
I'm a Northeast Ohio Brown.
He lives in Cleveland now.
That's true.
He's the only one of us that has a Cleveland address.
So go ahead, draw your analogy.
Well, I'm just saying the Browns don't have to be good because no matter what, there will be nostalgia and there will be a certain amount of fans that will, because they're from here, they'll support no matter what. Same thing with Hocus Pocus.
Bad analogy.
They could make it flop. They didn't have to make it a good movie. They just wanted the same characters to dress up in the same costume and run amok. And no matter what, they were going to say,
amok. Did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
They were going to say
a lot of fan service.
Exactly. They were going to say the same lines. They were going to say it's Slade no matter what. And everyone was going to see it. It can be bad, but everyone was going to watch it because they were curious about the new movie. And But
they would have been better off making it good.
Yeah, they would have, but they didn't. They didn't have to. They wanted to crank it out as quick as possible. They
started making this 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, but it's also why they didn't put it in theaters. There's a reason they threw it right on Disney Plus.
Well, there's no reason it seems like to put anything in theaters right now. Everything is tanking.
I actually don't like the fact that they put it out this year and didn't wait till next year because I wanted it to be a full 30 years. It was 29 years. It was 1993 when it came out, and it's 2022.
Yeah, you strike. I mean, these women, they went on a strike while the iron's hot. They're like, look, we might not be alive next year.
we
don't know anything. Right?
Or at least just wait, film it, put it together, shelve it, and then if there's any reshoots, you got a whole year.
Here's what they should.
So what? The movie ends up being one big memoriam reel if somebody dies from the cast.
I don't know.
Might make it better.
Yeah.
What the story should have been is just them stuck in hell, because that was the way the first one ended. Is they were in hell and just them, just in hell doing witch things in hell, and they could have all sorts of cameos from other people. You know, serial killers are huge right now. You have a Jeffrey Dahmer cameo. You have a John Wayne Gacy. You have a Ted Bundy cameo. And then it ties in to all that other stuff.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on, Satan? I was just talking about how they should have made the new Hocus Pocus take place in hell.
That's what I was talking about. They actually hit me up to do a cameo in that movie.
And what'd you say?
What do you mean, what did I say? I said, call my people.
You charge too much.
I didn't charge much at all. I said, tell you what, I will do it for practically nothing. I'll be in Hocus Pocus 3 for nothing.
Will you do it for scale?
You mean like a digital scale or?
Well, you know, scale is what like a term where you get just general price of what you would pay an actor to be. That's basically the lowest you can pay someone to be in a movie.
I'm not an actor. I'm the devil.
Yeah, but I figured you'd be insane.
If it's going to be in hell, they would have to pay me the locations fee.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
That's gonna run a pretty penny, I imagine.
Yeah,
do you get paid in souls or cash?
Who is this guy? I get paid in money.
All right.
Bitcoin. The only money that's real is Bitcoin. I've sent out all my minions to tell the world about Bitcoin. And it's going great. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. He's made it a hell on earth here.
Oh, boy. Okay, listen, let me take a break here. If you want to shoot a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com is where you can watch and you can listen on that iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free never too late to ruin your day.
Totally ruins it all.
100.7 WMMS.
216-578-1007. If you want to join us live on the phone, 800-348-1007. 35192 to send me a text. And AlanCoxShow.com. Thank you to Deborah Schlute, who's helping out today in the video department. Your Cleveland Guardians are playing the Kansas City Royals tonight in the last stretch of the regular season. They beat them last night, 7-5. It's been kind of back and forth so far between the Guardians and the Royals. So they will play them again tonight, 6:10 here on WMMS and on the iHeartRadio app. And then basically they got three more, and then they'll first wild card game is on Friday. We don't know what time that will be, and we don't know who they will play.
If it is during, because there's a chance it could go like 3 o'clock or something.
I imagine if that's the case, we will be preempted.
Cool.
So I'm hoping it'll be a night game on Friday.
Yeah, me too.
Sounds like it. Cool. You guys were gone Thursday and Friday. What are you talking about? 6:10 tonight, tomorrow, and then 4:10 on Wednesday. That will not be on WMMS. That will be on WTAM 1100. How was Thursday and Friday, by the way? How was Thursday?
Thursday was fine. That was the night I was in Cincinnati. And
I thought you were in Asheville.
Well, we went to Asheville Friday and Saturday. So I met up with Jim Twos in Cincinnati, and the Bengals were playing a home game. So we didn't do a show because nobody cared about anything but the Bengals that night.
They were at home?
Everybody was at home or at the game watching.
No, the Bengals were at home.
Bengals were at home, yeah. So, but it was fine. We still got hotels and paid, so can't complain. And then Friday and Saturday we were in Asheville, and Asheville's a cool city. I like that place a lot. It's very pretty. It's very clean.
I told you were going to like Asheville.
There's
a brewery every 10 feet.
There's a lot of breweries. There's a lot of good restaurants.
Did you go to any breweries?
Breweries? No.
New Belgium is really cool. They have like a whole campus almost. It's awesome.
Yeah. We didn't go to any breweries. We walked around downtown. We went to the pinball museum. You can play pinball for like $15. All the pinball you want, which is about 15 minutes of pinball for us.
Now, what makes it a museum? Do they have some really old ones behind plexiglass that you can't touch?
They have some really old ones that you can play everything that's in there as long as it's not out of order. They have to constantly update it. You know, they're just calling it a museum. But
Out
it's
of
really,
order? What do you mean?
Like
You can't
they're
play
old
them.
games. They're broken. So they'll be broken for a little bit.
Oh, I thought you meant there
they'll
was
fix
like an order when you went in. Like there's a museum.
Alphabetical?
No, but like when you go to a museum, there's kind of like a way they guide you through it, like an IKEA. Like when I go to the IKEA museum, there's a arrow on the floor that tells you which way to go to see all the exhibits. And
yes.
There's it's basically super electric, which we have here in Cleveland, where it's just a bunch of old pinball machines and then some newer ones. Still pretty fun to go in there for a little while.
Like an old Playboy machine or Coca-Cola machine or something?
Yeah, they had one that was I think it was a Godzilla machine, and it was gigantic.
Yeah, like Godzilla, I guess.
Yeah, it was huge. I've never seen one that big.
King of the Monsters, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was in Columbus Thursday.
Wait, that's the whole pinball
No,
story?
no, that's not the whole. I'm not done with the whole Asheville.
Oh.
So
You paused.
I was getting my thoughts
You know how
together.
a pause is an invitation to cut in on somebody's story?
Is that not how we do
That's
things
how
on this
Poundcake
show?
does it, yeah.
So there are a lot of homeless people in Asheville.
Okay.
And
young homeless people.
Yeah, and Jim Twos and I were walking around, and we see this guy, and he looks pretty homeless, but he's got a kid. And we're like, I don't know if that's the guy that should have that kid. And us being the do-gooders that we are, we checked our phones, make sure there's no Amber Alert. There's none. But we still go with our instincts, and our instincts were, get that kid away from that guy. So we took that kid from that guy, and guess what? All of a sudden, Amber Alert.
Right, because the kid belonged to the guy.
Yeah.
So that's doing good,
Right.
as far as you guys were concerned.
Yeah, we
you were
saved
like,
that kid.
hey, we're brand new in town.
Right.
Let's insert ourselves into this homeless guy's life and see what happens.
No, it was just strange. And then we had an Uber driver that was so old.
How old was the kid?
Probably 3.
3.
Yeah.
So there's a homeless toddler
Mhm.
with a homeless guy.
Homeless looking. I don't even know if they were homeless.
They could have just
They
been
could have just
dirty
been from Asheville, and that's how they looked. It's such a strange city because it's very affluent, and then there's a lot of homeless people there too because the cost of living there has skyrocketed because it's all Airbnbs now. Like they have 10,000 Airbnbs in Asheville because it's such a tourist destination.
So this wasn't a guy sitting with a toddler like up against a wall on the street. Like what was
he was sitting in a bus stop.
He was sitting like on the bench.
He was sitting on the ground.
He was on the ground
because it didn't have a bench, so he was sitting on the ground, and the toddler. He was like feeding the toddler like a bottle or something.
Okay, so he's taking care of the kid,
right? And we're just like, that's not a man's role. So that's also.
That's a theory.
We're
You're
in
off.
the
You go,
South.
wait
Yeah.
a second. A guy taking care of a child.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
We got to get this remedied immediately.
Too sweet.
No. So it's just what I'm saying. Then there's another guy in like a full suit, but walking around barefoot, which I thought was just a bold choice.
That's a flex.
Yeah. And it wasn't
Full
like a new
suit.
suit. It was like it looked nice, but it definitely looked dated. And then, yeah, just walking around barefoot everywhere, going into stores and stuff. Just like, this is who I am. And I guess they don't have the no shoes rule there.
Maybe it's because he was wearing more than a shirt. You know, and they
Yeah.
say no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yeah.
Maybe the abundance of clothes that he had on made up for
the
the no
shoes,
shoes
yeah.
part. Or maybe he's like a well-known sartorial type guy walking around Asheville. They go, that's just shoeless fancy is what we call him around here. He doesn't wear shoes, but he's always dressed
But
to
he's
the
got,
nines. He's
he's
dressed
got
to
a
the eights
vest
and a half.
on, so it makes up for it.
That's right. He's dressed to the eights.
So we get this on Friday night. We're getting a little bit of rain from the hurricane, and we were having some drinks. So we took an Uber to where the show was, and the guy that picks us up to take us back to our Airbnb
This is after the show.
After the show, he's probably 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a pretty nice Kia, and as soon as we get in the car, he's like, "My phone just died," and I was like, "Oh, do you need a charger? I actually have one in my bag because." We were filming, and he's like, no, it's not an iPhone.
He's an Uber driver without a phone charger.
He's like, and I got a charger right here. I was like, well, why are you driving around with the phone and a charger, but you're not hooking them up?
Uh-huh.
All you had to do was plug that in at any time when you saw that the battery was going down, and he did not do that, and we deduced that he was stoned out of his mind.
The 71-year-old
Hell
guy.
yeah.
So medicinal.
Whatever it
Or
was. I mean,
recreational, yeah.
there's a lot of hippies down there. So
Right.
I think he's just a guy that likes to smoke.
Well, that's
Do
fun
pot.
that's fun when the old stoner is going to take you home.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't our. What else were we gonna do? Be like, get out of here, old man. We were already driving. You'd already
Right.
taken off.
He's like,
And
here
then-
you are, Raleigh, Durham. Oh, no, that's not.
And so I'm navigating with my phone just to make sure he's not taking us where we're not, because he grew up, he knows that town well. He knew how to get us there. But I was just making sure that we're getting taken home. And his
Not
phone
to a
comes back
dungeon.
on, and then the alarm starts going off on the phone. And then he's trying to turn the alarm off on the phone, and he's like, password? I don't got a password. And just saying this stuff to himself. He's like, I don't know how I turn off my phone. I got a password for the alarm?
Mhm.
Just having this internal monologue out loud. And he goes, you know what? Screw it. And he just turns the phone back off. And it's like, oh, this is dangerous.
So you had to tell him where to go from your own phone?
I mean, he knew where we were going. I told him the street.
Yeah.
He's
familiar with the area.
He's familiar
Yeah,
with the
okay.
area. So it was okay, but it was still a lot of him being an old man, high on drugs, trying to figure out how to work his phone that was charging, and it was just not the safest drive, but we still gave him 4 stars.
What if he was just stupid?
He could have been stupid.
What if he wasn't high at all?
I
He
think
was
he was-
just
yeah.
dim.
What made you think he was high?
just the mannerisms of a high person.
Oh.
Just kind of spacey and not there. Jim was the one that deduced that he was high. I was just like, I think he's just old.
Right.
But Jim thinks he was stoned out of his mind.
You chalked it up to cognitive capacity.
Right.
And Twos was like, no, I've seen this look in septuagenarians before.
Mm-hmm.
The old glassy eye look.
Glassy eye, can't
From
remember
old
my
dudes.
password.
Yep.
Alarms going off. So.
Well, it's better than when you have to guide your Uber driver to where you are on the phone looking at the map because they don't know where you are.
I have to do that from time to time because they will drive past my building.
God, I hate that.
And think that I'm in the next building over because it will tell them to come to my building, but it'll show where I am, and I'm in my condo, which is back and to the left. And they're like, well, it said we were over here. And I was like, well, I was, but that's not, there's no road there.
I could see where
address.
I could see where that would be confusing because it's a bunch of high rises on the lake. It looks like one massive parking lot in front of them. But I just remember being in Austin where I had to be on the phone with the guy and tell him turn by turn how to get to me. We were just in a house on a gridded street. So it's like each house has a different address. I'm like, you're looking at the same map I'm looking at. How am I telling you how to get here and you don't know how?
Probably high.
And he didn't have any. I mean, he could have been high. I don't know.
Were they old?
He wasn't old. No, he was young.
We had to do that in Chicago because we went to the Shed Aquarium and there's nowhere to be picked up there. It's like a bunch of green space all around it. So like the closest street is a 1/4-mile walk.
You got to like walk to get picked up.
Yeah. So this guy's like, I'm here. And he was like getting impatient with us. And I was like, yo, we're not from here. You need to tell me where you are. Like we're in the middle of 6 different streets. And so he's like circling around. He's like, there's a wedding. I can't stop. And I was like, well, that doesn't help us. And it's 98 degrees outside. We had been there 6 hours.
I just got made the best man. I'm not going to be there for a while.
Also,
sucked into the wedding.
I don't know how the rest of the country's doing, but Asheville's doing pretty good.
How so?
You know where they put the Halloween stores in every other part of the country?
Yeah, like old Best Buys and
Old
stuff?
Best Buys, vacant storefronts.
Yeah.
Asheville's doing so well, they don't have any vacant storefronts to put their Halloween city in.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to put a tent in the parking lot of the mall that was packed.
Oh, all the places are still open.
All the places are still open, so they go, I guess we'll just put this tent up and put all the masks and stuff in here. It's like they're having a revival.
Is there any, was there a guy like Snake Charming or anything inside?
We didn't go inside. I just saw that there was a Halloween city in a parking lot rather than in an old Best Buy or anything like that. And it was a very crowded mall. We went into the mall for a little bit. Now, the JCPenney looks like it could be the spot next year because
for the Halloween city.
Yeah, because that place was desolate, but it's a nice place to park.
You went to the Asheville Mall?
Yeah, just checking out some of the shoes they had there.
Mm-hmm. And did you find shoes?
I did not. I mean, I found some, but I just didn't want to pay $600 for them.
Yeah. You're like, hey, we're in a town we've never been in before. Mm-hmm. Let's check out the mall. I want to buy some shoes.
You know, things I don't do at home.
I like to do the things that I like to do, no matter what city I'm in.
See, that's a way to go about it, too, is that you do the exact same things, just in a different city.
Mm-hmm.
So while all these other suckers are running their ass off trying to get to these quote-unquote tourist destinations that you got to see. That you got to see. Bill goes, hey, just because I'm in a different town, I'm still going to go get something to eat at wherever I like to get. And I'm going to go to the mall, look for some shoes.
We walked around downtown Asheville for several hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the way back to the Airbnb on Saturday afternoon, I was like, there's a mall right here. I just want to pop in because they had one store that was like a, reseller that had a lot of rare stuff. So I'm like, let's check this out real quick. And Jim had to go because I was driving. So
you were like the old guy and he was your passenger this time.
Yeah. But it was Asheville's a great town. It's very clean, and the crowds were cool that came to the shows. It was good times.
Hey, Rubestar.
Tell me you watched Saturday Night Live, Alan. Please tell me you watched it.
I did not.
Oh, my God, dude. I thought you said you always felt like you're the last man watching it. Now I'm the last person watching
I watched it.
I mean, I plan to watch it, but the further we get into the week, the less that plan is going to come to fruition. I mean, I usually
go to YouTube and watch the cold open.
I usually end up watching Saturday Night Live like on Sunday morning. I'll watch like Meet the Press. I'll watch SNL. I just didn't get to it yesterday, and as the week goes on, it's less likely that I'll catch it and watch it. I heard it wasn't that great.
Oh, I thought it was a very good episode.
Who did you hear that from? I want to know right now. Who told you that?
I don't know. Everybody was writing. They're like, "Ooh, this is gonna be a tough season with
tell me who said that.
with all the heavy."
I don't believe that.
A guy
for 1
named
second.
Frank.
Who said that?
With all the heavy hitters gone, whoever wrote this article I was
Let
reading.
me tell you what happened, Alan.
I guess you should have been writing the review of it, Rube Star.
There's this guy, Bowen Yang. Brilliant.
But
Forget
he's not.
Marsala.
But
He
he's
can go
not.
push a broom.
He's
There's
not
a new
new.
kid.
Jesus Christ. He's not
Okay.
new. He's
new to
been
me.
there for then you haven't been watching. He's been on for 3 seasons.
Okay, well, how about Michael Longfellow? Do you know anything about him?
No, I don't. He's one of the new guys, right?
He did a
He's
very
the next
funny bit.
Norm Macdonald, and you're missing it, Alan.
Because I missed the season
you
opener.
Missed Corn Kid. You don't even understand, dude. You missed Corn Kid.
I played the OG Corn Kid here on this show. What do I care about how they're making fun of it? We made fun of it here.
It's been done before? Okay, I thought that was the first time Corn Kid ever been done. Okay, see,
What's your point? I'm trying to find your point, Rube
Rube
Star. What's your point?
My point is, it was gold, but what do I have to
If I
compare
watch
it to? Because I
this-
haven't seen it in 20 years. I was counting on you to watch it, Alan.
But what does me watching it have to do with you?
I value your opinion.
Well, I just told you I heard it stunk.
That was your first mistake.
Yeah, but you didn't see that. You could have false information. You could have bad info.
What if I watch it and then I come back on the show and I go, well, Rube Star told me to watch it. I watched it, and they were right. It stunk.
I would say thank you, Alan, so much for your opinion.
But you've already seen it.
I haven't. Alan, I can't stop watching it. I stayed up till 4 that night or Sunday morning watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
As soon as I woke up the next day or the same day, I'm watching it nonstop.
Huh. You fired it right back up. Yeah.
I loved it.
That Miles Teller, huh? I heard they gave Kendrick Lamar 3 songs.
Oh, I don't even know who that guy is. He was all right.
There
whatever.
you go. That's how dialed in Rube
Miles
Star is. He
Teller,
doesn't
let
know
me
who
tell you about
Kendrick
Miles
Lamar
Teller.
is.
I thought Peyton Manning was doing an impression of him. He was doing Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
That was a good.
He's the host.
Peyton Manning, yeah.
Wait a second. Did Bill watch it? Bill, did you see it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I thought it was very good.
Okay, first of all, Alan, hold up. Bill is probably a hater. You don't know this, but Marsala has...
Bill Hader hasn't been on that show in 7 years, Rube Star.
No, Squire. I'm talking about Bill Squire. Bill Squire is probably a hater, okay? He's probably jealous because Marsala got it and he didn't. They have opposite birthdays. Okay?
Marsala?
Marcelo.
Like the chicken dish?
Hernandez.
Oh,
He's one of the
Marcelo.
new cast members.
Marcelo.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude. Okay, thank you, Rube Star. If I watch the season opener of SNL, you've really, really built it up for me. You've really taken me on a little tour there of what to expect. No one has made such a big deal about Saturday Night Live as Rube Star.
I mean,
Just
there's
watching it on a loop.
It's like any episode where there's some hit and miss sketches. But
Sure.
the cold open with Miles Teller doing Peyton Manning was very funny because they were just talking about. They did like a sketch during that, and they were just kind of roasting it and tearing it apart and analyzing it the way that Peyton does with football games on Monday Night Football. So that was a pretty clever sketch, and I really enjoyed the just say something or reply with something normal where it was different guys that have been in the news lately. You got Maroon 5, Adam Levine, and it's just like, hey, reply to a girl's DM normal and you win the game. And they couldn't do it.
Well, I've
It's a
got it
funny
on.
bit.
It's on my Hulu, so I'll probably get to it. I'll watch Saturday Night Live. Make everybody happy. I got to take a break. If you want to text 35192, AlanCoxShow.com, if you're going to watch there, and listen wherever on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show. On 100.7 The Buzzard.
This
or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW.
The 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-life.
Power family road trips.
Out, now open. To get started, check out roblox.com/iHeartLand.
All right, I want to go to Carnival of Horrors, voted Ohio's scariest attraction for over a decade. 4 haunted attractions for one price. Carnival of Horrors, bigger and better than ever. It's at the Stark County Fairgrounds in Canton. Go to carnivalofhorrors.com for all the details. I'll get you passes here. I think you get 4 of them. Double check with Poundcake. For Carnival of Horrors down Canton Way. Good luck. Caller 10-216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
Sure, you could listen to another show, but then how would you find the puppies we've buried in boxes around the city? 100.7 WMMS.
I got a lot of F.U. Mary messages.
Perfect. Your boyfriend works hard. Give him a break. Oh.
Not because of that.
What did I do?
Because Mustard finally won his first
saw.
hot dog derby race. They were just priming Mustard for the postseason, getting ready for the postseason, and so they wanted to get one victory in the regular season.
Sorry.
And Mustard finally won very first hot dog derby after being, it got to be the laughing stock, quite frankly, between Mustard and Onion. No, on the ice cream thing, I'm surprised most people texting me are agreeing with
Brian?
your boyfriend.
Here's what I don't understand.
That surprises me. People are like, "That's gross. It's like swap and spit." I'm like, "But
You
that's
do
literally
swap
what
spit.
that's literally what kissing and having sex is."
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
That's why I can't wrap my mind around it. He won't drink after people like me or his daughter. I'm like, yo, how is you drinking out of my cup any different than what we just did 10
maybe
minutes
he
ago?
wants to keep his immune system healthy.
Then keep his tongue out of my mouth.
Well, he can't go that far.
You know what I mean?
Well, he can put it somewhere else then. I don't know. I'm not telling you how to.
That's why I was like, you're being ridiculous. Just help me eat the ice cream.
Got a DM from the hot dogs. They said, Mary's been awfully quiet since Mustard's big win on Saturday. Awfully quiet.
Yeah.
And I replied, another benefit of your big win.
Boom,
roasted.
Roasted. You got me. Hey, listen, I said, congrats to you. It's about time. You're a major league condiment. It's embarrassing that it took you this long. And I stand by. My stance hasn't changed. You're not that good. It took you all season to get one win.
F.U. Mustard.
F.U.
is your
Mustard.
Rallying cry.
Congratulations. Question mark? Do you get congratulated on something you should have been doing the whole time anyway?
Congratulations! Exclamation point.
But he should have been doing this the whole time.
Well, what do you mean should have?
He's in the major leagues.
Yeah,
he is an
that's
MLB
true.
condiment.
That's true. But I'll
Come on.
Major league broadcaster.
my
your
Was that a sneeze?
yeah. My sorry, I didn't know where that came from. My opinion has not changed either, which is the whole season's been fixed. The whole thing, it's a sham.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fixed. The law of averages tells you only have 3 contestants. One of them doesn't win any, and then he goes out to the Lake County Crushers, wins the first time.
Yes.
Because once he got out of that fixed environment, and he was able to live up to his Heinz-given potential.
It'd be like if they put you in a broadcasting competition against a college station. You're going to win.
I would probably lose.
Well, hopefully
the
you'd
kids
win.
The kids aren't going to be into my style of radio. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Mustard won its very first hot dog derby. I think it was on Saturday. Guardians over the Royals yesterday, 7-5. They're going to play them 3 more times. Only 3 games remaining in the regular season. The next one is tonight at 6:10 right here on WMMS. And a lot of people have pointed out that I've neglected to give them October's word for CLE Clothing Company. It became October over the weekend, and so we haven't been back to tell you.
Is it Halloween themed or is it another completely off the wall one?
It is Halloween themed.
Spooky.
Mary Santora out of the gate. Boy, she doesn't know much about mustard, but she knows about CLE clothing code words. 20% off is what you get when you flash spooky at them. Well, don't flash it, just tell them.
Write it on your boobies.
Yeah, SPO on one, OKY on the other.
And the nipples are the O's.
Yeah, man! And the little smiley face underneath. However you want to do it, right? I'm sure the girls could figure out a different way to do it. But spooky is your word for the entire month of October. There are 31 days in October, of course, Halloween being the very last one. And just use the promo code. If you're online, just use spooky and you get 20% off the top. Hey, James.
Hello.
What's going on, James?
Not much. Hey, I got a little story about this hot dog race. I was at Camden Yards for my birthday in August, and they do a hot dog race there also. So I'm going to get up and get my phone out to take a video of this race. You know, maybe Mustard would have won there. They do it on a video screen. It's not even the mascots running. I felt like an idiot with my phone out ready to record this thing. Their whole fans are going nuts and everything, and it's just on the video screen.
Oh, it's animated.
Nothing like, yeah, not like how we have it here with actual mascots running across the field. I'm pointing my phone at the field, waiting for these guys to come running out of the tunnel. Nothing at all.
That's how unseriously they take the hot dog races in Baltimore. Is they just animate them, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, James. You're better off back here watching the Guardians game.
Yeah. We'll see what they do in the playoffs.
Right. Okay, thank you, James.
They're going to win!
Yeah, that's what didn't sound too short. Boy, speaking of mascots, I was reading about everybody's talking about how much the mascot for the Denver Nuggets makes. And so all of the other major league professional mascots are like, what the hell is going on in Denver? I don't know if there's a mascot union in professional sports or what, but the mascot for the Denver Nuggets, Rocky, he's a tiger named Rocky. He's the highest paid mascot in the NBA by a lot.
Wow.
If it's correct. He makes $625,000 annually. Now that that cannot be true because the average salary of an NBA mascot is about $60,000. So Rocky would have to make 10 times. So there's no mascot that's doing such amazing work. So I need to know more about this. That's either incorrect, somebody got a typo with an extra O or something, or this is a person who has some other thing with the organization. There's no way.
Even if he made $62,000 a year, it's a lot of money.
Well, that's the standard because they do a lot of appearances and
I guess,
things
yeah.
like
If
that.
he's
It's a pretty
saying
demanding
an extra
job.
zero, though. $63,000.
Now, $63,000 is what they pay all of the dancers and everybody else
Combined, yeah.
Right, but I could see a professional mascot making $65,000 a year.
I could see maybe Gritty making that. Well, making the $625,000. Gritty deserves $625,000 a year.
Who does?
Gritty.
Yeah, Gritty. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to figure out what all that is about. Because all the other mascots in, I would imagine, all of sports.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a minor league mascot. You're like
making $20 on a hot dog.
Yeah,
a
that's
game.
right. I get free concessions and RC Cola as much as I want. So people are talking about how. By the way, Terry the Goat, I don't know if she's on the upswing. I mean, she had a better week than she has been having. She didn't give me Monday Night Football, so all of her results are in for Game 4. She went 5-5.
That's a good week for her.
It's a better week than she's been having. She's been off to a real rough start. Terry, in the 3 previous seasons, has not had a losing season. Overall, she hasn't had a losing season. Terry the Goat, if you're new to the show, lives out in Carlton, Pennsylvania. She's out at Marcinek Farms, and Al has her pick the NFL games every week. And she gave me 10 picks this week, and she went 5-5. She did pick the Chargers over the Texans.
Both up.
Which was correct.
They're playing the Browns this week. Big game.
She picked the Lions over the Seahawks, which Seahawks won, but that was a high-scoring game. It was 48-45. was the final. So the one she got correct, because she picked the Browns over the Falcons. She got
that was the Falcons one.
She got Kansas City over Tampa Bay, Chargers over Houston, Dallas over D.C., Bills over Baltimore, and the Bengals over the Dolphins with that whole Tua Tagovailoa concussion situation. Whoever that guy is, right?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Gesundheit. Whoever that guy is,
Tua.
they fired
Tua.
like the
If you
team.
say Tua, people know who he is.
They fired the team doctor in the wake of all that, and there's a whole thing. But Terry maybe is on the upswing. She's at 5-5. Speaking of Tampa, by the way, I just found out that this place that I had sent all of my, this place that I had sent 13 high-value comics from my collection. I sold my comic collection it's a 40-year-old collection. I sold the bulk of it, but I removed probably about 50 high-value titles from it.
To get them rated and boarded or packaged and everything.
Yeah,
right?
get them graded.
Yeah.
And so I sent it off to this place. I just found out, and I haven't heard anything from this place. And these aren't comics I'm looking to lose in shipping or anything. So I hit them up because I sent them off like months ago, and I hadn't heard anything. So I emailed them and go through some random customer service thing, and the guy goes, well, I don't know. I don't have that tracked anywhere. And I said, well, here's my receipts, literally, because I said, here's the tracking. And he finally finds it, or at least finds it on screen, that it has come in, but they can't find it. So then I don't hear anything else. And so I'm following up with this guy. I go, look, this is going to be somewhere, and you need to find it for me. And he writes me back a couple of days ago, and I didn't realize this place was like right where the hurricane just hit.
So you're being...
With my luck. So he goes, well, we've been closed a bit because of the hurricane. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I said, okay, well, I understand. Just please keep me in the loop on this. I didn't even want to send these things off, but I want to sell them. And so I'm like, well, it'll be better if I get them graded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't even know where they are. He goes, well, I see that we received them.
Pretty low grade that they're getting from you.
I keep getting these. You have one interaction. It's gotten to the point now where you have one interaction with any kind of person with a company, and you immediately receive an email or a voicemail or a text about giving them a survey. And I'm happy to do that if they've just done an amazing job, right? I'm not hanging on the line for the survey after I talk to the girl. Or if you get Taco Bell and the girl goes, hey, back of the receipt, if you could give us, that's a girl working in the window at Taco Bell. So I might take a second and do that, and I might get a free taco in the process. But this, let's wait till the problem has been solved and then send me an email. After every interaction now, you get a link to a survey. Which I get. I mean, they want to track their data of how their people are doing. But solve the problem first, and then I'll give you a glowing review. I'm on the phone with this company's support for one thing or another, because we're all on our own now downtown here at this new situation, because everything is whatever. It's all software-based, right? So I'm on the phone with corporate support of some kind every single day. And every single day I get an email. As soon as I hang up the phone, I get an email. Hey, how'd it go with Frank? I'm like, delete. I shouldn't have to talk to you guys every single day. So if you can solve the problems I've got, because a lot of times these are interactions about the same problems. So these immediate survey responses are getting out of hand. Just wait until the whole interaction is done. And then, if it's a series of interactions, there's got to be a way that they can figure that out. Because I'm sure that's all automated too. And they go, hey, how was your call with Raheem? Fine, great, fine. Like if you're in an Uber and they go, there's a quid pro quo with Uber and rideshare services because your rating and their rating, whatever. So I don't even care about that, but it's no skin off my ass to give a guy 5 stars. He got me where I wanted to go. He didn't talk to me that much. It's fine. 5 stars. That's good for him. He's working hard. I don't know what this dude in Tampa's doing with my comic books.
Hopefully they didn't get wet.
Yeah,
He'd be like- he'd be like-
hopefully they didn't get wet.
He'll be like,
yes, that's right.
You know what? We finally found your comics, and we're going over them, and they are just destroyed by water damage.
We
So
found them in the Gulf.
We're going to give them a pretty low rating.
These are going to get a 2.8. They are not in mint condition anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the last thing. I've been holding on to these things for 40 years. I finally go to do something with them, and they're probably floating through this factory.
You know what? Alan's had it rough.
He has.
What a rough time you're going through.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying I would be really pissed off.
I would be too.
If I
that's
sent
really
those
annoying.
and he goes, oh, we're close to the hurricane. And then I was like, well, where are you? And then I look at because their address wasn't on there. I don't even think I realized it was Florida.
There's not a place in town that they can grade comic books?
No, there's like a company that grades comic books officially. So if you go to sell to somebody else, it's got that company's stamp of approval. This is what it's graded.
And that's the standard.
That's the standard. So I sent it to them. And they charge you like $30 a title based on, the grade or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the era of comics it's from, whatever. It's way too boring for the audience to care about. But I'm like, just wait until our whole back and forth is done, and then I'll be happy to fill out a survey. I'll do it in great detail, whatever you send me. Because if it's bad news, you're not going to get a good grade. I'm asking you to grade something. You're asking me to grade something. Let's figure all this out.
But let's wait till you're done grading your
Something,
thing
whatever,
first. Yes.
something.
You do something first, and then I'll rate you.
We were out when the news broke that Coolio died.
Yeah.
Collapsed at a friend's house. They said he died from cardiac arrest. He's 59 years old. So the last time we're going to hear...
I guess God needed a no-limit soldier. I don't know what Coolio does.
He's in a gangster's paradise.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knows that, but No Limit Soldier sounded right. I mean,
I think it's pretty close to that era, right?
Coolio was a severe asthmatic, and his friends think that probably had something to do with it. So posthumously, if you watch Futurama, he'll be on the new season of Futurama. He recorded some lines and some bars before he died. And I don't know if they're bringing back Kwanzaa or what they're doing with Coolio, but he had a couple of kids with a woman who was not his wife, but she said they had an open relationship. She said she was his longtime partner, and she said, I knew that he saw other women, but we always had an understanding. She said that he didn't want a funeral, and he will be cremated. Mimi Ivy is his girl. They've been together for 10 years.
Wow, you don't want a funeral? How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't want a funeral.
Why?
Why? What's the point?
What do you mean, what's the point?
People who want to memorialize you can do it
I
a
was gonna
certain
say,
way.
Funerals are not for the dead; they're for the living. So.
Well, it's a nice thing to say, but it's my body, and I.
But
Right.
I mean, like
His choice.
But your body is gone. Like
I value people's Saturdays too much. If I
do
do
it
a
on a
funeral,
Tuesday.
well, that's what I'm saying. If I do a funeral, it's going to be by a
Thursday.
Zoom or phone call or whatever you want. You don't have to come. I just want you to get the day off work.
No, you're right. I mean, you are dead, so who cares? I mean, I get that part. If my family wanted to give me a funeral, you're right. I wouldn't care. But anyway, he'd been with this girl a long time. And by the way, it's super easy to be with somebody a long time when you get to do whatever you want.
I mean, I'm in
That's
a relationship.
Honestly, write that into the vows from now on. We'll be
Do whatever
together,
you want.
but just do whatever you want. And then divorce rates go down.
Well,
people are happier.
But people can also rightfully make the comment, well, then what's the point of any of this?
Because they still were together.
Well, how
some
together
way.
are you if you're like, honey, I'll be back later on tonight. I'm going to bang this chick and I'll be back. And you know.
Right, but don't watch Dahmer without me because that
Oh,
is
that's
the
what it
serious
is.
cheating.
Yeah, but you don't need to be married to do that at all. And maybe they weren't. He was 59. She's 41. She's cute. White girl. They had a couple of kids. She had a nice rack. And
important things.
she said that, because they were always trying to, they were always like, and maybe she's covering for him. I don't know. Maybe she's trying to save herself some heartache. But there were always rumors, Coolio's stepping out. And she's saying, oh, I know about all that. Like, it's not,
It's very progressive.
But he's got a couple of kids with this lady, but he also has a lot of other kids. They lived in Vegas. He was at a friend's place in downtown L.A., and he collapsed.
He's ethically non-monogamous.
There you go. So Coolio, gone at 59, but he will show up again on Futurama if you watch that show. Artis Leon was his real name. And he had a cooking thing. I mean, Coolio had kind of a nice second act because everyone knew Gangster's Paradise, but like he didn't even sing the best part of that song. LV, the guy who sings the chorus, is like the star of that song.
For sure.
So Coolio, he did his own stuff, but then he had, I don't know if he's on Celebrity Rehab or Celebrity Apprentice, something like that, but he kind of made the rounds. He had a cooking show people liked, but a lot of kids. He was married for 4 or 5 years in the mid-'90s. But he definitely didn't look good. All those pictures you see of Coolio are kind of old pictures where he still kind of looks like a G. But like last pictures of him, he didn't look good. So who knows? I got a break. If you want to text 35192 to get me there, AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch live. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7
WMMS. Rover's Morning Glory. Cleveland.
We're glad you called us for information about masturbation. It's a subject many people feel uncomfortable with and don't talk about.
Call the Alan Cox Show, 216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
35192. Want to send a text. You see Muse announce their North American tour? If you're a Muse fan, you're going to have to travel. They ain't coming here. They're taking Evanescence out with them. Or they're having a nice Evanescence.
They're having a metal band open up for them?
Well, that's Poundcake's favorite metal band is Evanescence.
And my favorite band, period. I love Muse.
Right.
I'm going to go there and headbang.
You should. Go there and headbang.
At Muse. They will not force us. Wait, why is this dude having a seizure over there? Oh, he's just really happy.
He's a huge Muse fan.
All right.
They'll start at February 25th in Chicago. They'll play Minneapolis, Houston. Well, you can go to Columbus. I was thinking there wasn't any Ohio date. They'll play Columbus on March the 7th. Muse and Evanescence, the Will of the People tour. That's the new album they dropped a couple of weeks ago. So if you're a Muse fan, the tickets will go on sale for the whole tour tomorrow at 10 a.m. So think about that. By the way, speaking of your Cleveland Guardians, I was just listening to the promo that we ran there in that break. Congratulations to the Guardians for pricing their postseason tickets starting at $69. Nice. I can't imagine that was entirely coincidental, but good looking out.
I was talking to my mom this weekend, and I told her that I was going to one of the wild card games. I was like, I'm going to the Saturday game. And she's like, oh, this might sound harsh, but when your father dies, can you take me to a game? And I was like, nice. I can just take you to a game. He doesn't have to be dead. And she's
Why
like,
did he have to be dead?
I just think after 45 years of marriage, she's like, you know what? It'd just be easier.
Is
he anti-baseball?
No, he doesn't like baseball. He doesn't like any sports, but she's allowed. It was just a weird thing for her to say, and I couldn't.
But why wouldn't she go to a? Why would she have to wait for your dad to be dead?
I don't know. That's what
you
I'm
didn't
saying.
ask her
Like,
that?
I just told her. I said we can just go to a game. Like I'll take you to a playoff game if they get to the next round. And she's like, "Oh, that sounds."
But did
nice.
she assume that comment would sound normal to you, given the family dynamics? Or
I don't know if
Maybe she's saying she'll be bored. Like once he dies, she has nothing else to do, so I'll go to a baseball game.
Makes a lot of sense. But she still wants to just go.
I guess.
She wants to do more things because there's a lot of things that he doesn't like to do, and so she doesn't do them with him. But
do they
I'll
do
take
pretty
her.
much everything together? Is that what it is?
They even work together.
Well, I know that.
So everything.
You think that they would both be looking to do their own things given that situation?
They will have times like that. She's gone on girls' trips and done her own thing from time to time.
Does your mom have a sweatshirt that says, "It's wine o'clock"?
No, because she's never drank wine.
Does she have a sweatshirt that says, "It's water o'clock"?
Ever. She never even accidentally had wine.
How do you accidentally have wine?
Same way Mary accidentally has like.
Yeah, she's not ordering
Fish or
non-alcoholic wine at the bar.
Sometimes
Her
people make
drink
mistakes.
her drink of choice is Diet
Water.
Mountain Dew.
Oh.
That's what she loves. So Diet Mountain Dew is her thing. So
I got to
they
give
don't-
it
they
up
don't
for
mix that up.
We had a bit of a busier weekend than normal. My daughter had a soccer game. We went to dinner with some friends on Friday night, and then we went over to another pair of friends' house for dinner, just the four of us and our kids, on Saturday night. And they put out a bowl with ice in it and a Mountain Dew in the middle.
Oh my, service.
I said, those are good friends. Mackenzie and Tom are good friends. They set that out for me. Didn't ask. It was a complete surprise.
Very cute.
Very nice. Very thoughtful. So anyway, if you're a Muse and or Evanescence fan, Evanescence you're just through with Korn. Evanescence is one of these bands that was kind of off everybody's radar for a good chunk of time. And then they came back, put out an album. I don't know how well it did, but they're getting on these tours. And when you see them live, and Poundcake will tell you this, you see Evanescence live, phenomenal. Yep. They'll definitely be able to hold their own because Muse puts on a hell of a show too. So they'll be able to hold their own. So closest date we'll get is March the 7th in Columbus at the Nationwide Arena.
Are they doing any dates in Pittsburgh or no?
No.
Everybody that's...
You'd have to go to Columbus, Toronto, Quebec, Montreal, New York, Philly.
Wow.
Yeah. And then all the West Coast states. The what?
The Shade.
What Shade?
We're
They can't go everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of tours we don't get. That's why I tell people, hey, if you dig this band, they're going on the road, but you got to travel.
I'm just saying, birthplace of rock and roll in your metal band.
Oh, stop it.
But Evanescence was just here with Korn, right?
They were just here with Korn. But Muse has been here before. Well, what do you mean we're not doing a show at the birthplace of rock and roll? You know, a lot of people think that that's another city. Like, we've monetized it here in Cleveland, but a lot of people think that that's another city. So maybe they don't know. Muse is British. Maybe
and there's no British people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Maybe they don't know where it is. Maybe they call Nashville Music City. There's a dozen cities they call them Music City or Rock and Roll City.
Detroit would probably be the next one because
that's Motown.
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City.
I think Muse.
They're not playing Detroit.
Maybe they didn't. I thought Muse opened for Black Keys. Does that sound right or no?
It does not sound right. Muse is an arena band.
You were thinking of Modest Mouse.
They were trash. Yeah. Somebody came through and opened for...
Muse puts on a big production.
Modest Mouse opened for Black Keys a couple years ago at the Romo Fijo, and they were very, very bad live.
Maybe they were off their game that
They
night.
might have been. It's the only time I've ever seen them. But it also starts with an M, so my comment is relevant.
I guess it would be.
At least they're modest about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're trying our best up here.
Right.
You know, I was talking about
they're not the best you've ever seen, Mouse.
When I was talking about Coolio having all those kids, Nick Cannon had his 10th kid just 2 weeks after his 9th kid.
Double digits.
Nick Cannon is up there. And a guy that Bill has mentioned before, too, because I think he's dating somebody pretty famous, is a rapper named NBA Youngboy. Who did you say NBA Youngboy was, or he just knocked her up or something? Somebody famous, right? With Kardashians or something. Floyd Mayweather's daughter.
There you go.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though.
He's a pretty famous rapper, too.
NBA Youngboy is 22, and he just had his 10th kid.
Oh, my God.
At 22?
Right.
So this guy, a little boy with his fiancée, Jaslyn
A
Michelle.
little boy. Don't say it like that. A little...
I'm reading it.
They had a little boy. I thought you were calling him a little boy.
No, he had a little boy.
Like this little boy has a fiance.
He's 22. Yeah, you know. NBA Youngboy. I don't know how he's not getting sued for calling himself NBA Youngboy.
Because it means never broke again. Which...
No, I know that, but it's still NBA. I mean, they've sued people for less than that. Anyway,
I mean,
he has welcomed his 10th child at 22 years old.
It's the NBA. It's not the World Wildlife Federation, so.
That's right.
Or fund or whatever it was.
He has another child with his fiancée. He has 8 other kids with 7 other women, including Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s daughter. But that's a handsome kid. Nick Cannon, of course, just had his 10th, a couple weeks after his 9th, and word is number 11 is on the way. So these guys between NBA, Youngboy, you know, boy, I just can't figure out why all the pro-lifers that are out there screaming and yelling, I don't hear anybody applauding NBA young guy and Nick Cannon and Coolio. I mean, 20 kids between these two dudes, and you don't hear a peep from all these people who insist that people have kids under any circumstances. No accolades for these guys. I just can't figure out what it is about these guys that's keeping those people quiet. I've tried to figure... Well, anyway, I guess we'll never know what it is. But you think these people would be getting ticker tape parades from the pro-life crowd populating the earth. You're going to talk about giving birth. Did you see that Lil Nas X? This guy, he gave birth to a big old fat turd at his concert. He had to go backstage to take a dump. Did you see that video where he's like talking to the crowd?
No. That's pretty funny.
I heard about it. He said, wait, y'all, I got to poop.
Yeah, you drop a heater.
Happened to one of the...
Gave birth to a big brown
Yeah,
baby
on
boy.
the Seahawks, yeah, DK Metcalf.
Everyone's like, hey, just
he
real
carted
quick.
off the field, And then he reply tweeted it and goes, the clinch walk wasn't going to work on this one. So he just had to go real bad.
Yeah, Lil Nas X was in Atlanta, and he had to go backstage, tell everybody what's going on.
I'm backstage, and this is like not a part of the show, but I'm taking a mean so please leave me. But I'm going to need like a minute or two, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, you kind of can't hear what he's saying. He's telling the crowd.
Yeah, he's taking a mean
S word for poop.
Yeah.
He said, people thought I was joking. I was literally back there dropping demons into that toilet.
You need to stop wearing
Show must go on.
super tight outfits that like push everything down. Or like, doesn't he have like a nutritionist on tour that has him eat the right things so that stuff like that don't happen?
It takes one wrong thing and
right.
You get a little out of whack and then boom.
Maybe he's been getting too busy on the road otherwise.
Ew. That's a tour
Kegels, bud.
Maybe he hasn't been doing it. Forget the diet. Maybe he hasn't been doing his Kegels. You never know how that's going to come back to haunt you. Dropping demons.
Oh, I love being home to poop.
Dude, I haven't pooped in like 3 days. I've had like a couple
This is not
little
good.
nuggets. I know this happens every now and then. Every time I change my diet, this is what happens.
Huh.
But you change your diet constantly.
That's my point.
Yeah. But also, I miss my toilet because I have bidets on both my toilets.
Did anybody see my Instagram?
What happened?
This idiot.
Brian and I went to a Middle Eastern restaurant in Westlake, and he's vegetarian, so pretty much any genre of food other than American is great for us. So we went to this Middle Eastern place, and I went into the bathroom, and there was a knob next to the toilet. And I was like, that's weird. Maybe this is like a different way to flush it. I don't know.
Do you swear in the video?
No, I don't swear in the video.
What did the knob look like?
A knob, like a circle, like a turny, like a dial.
Like a doorknob? Or
No, like
some of
a-
those handles look like gears, kind of?
No,
Like
it looked like a circle volume knob on
Okay.
a radio.
Yeah.
It looked like that. So it's sitting on the side of the toilet.
It was
and I
attached to the tank.
No, on the side of the toilet seat. It's a
And
little
you
knob.
didn't know what that
and I
was.
looked at it. I was like, that's weird. And so I went, and then I stood up,
Yeah.
and I pulled my pants up, and I'm looking at the toilet, and I see the regular knob, the regular flusher. What's it called? The handle?
Handle, yes.
Regular handle on the tank of the toilet.
Right.
And I looked down, and I was like, I turned the knob a little bit, and then it started to flow down. Water started to flow downward.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is just a different way to flush the toilet. So
No
I
sign indicating.
Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
So I took the knob and I cranked it, thinking it would flush the toilet, and it squirted all over me, like soaked the whole right side of my shirt.
It shot up out of the bowl.
Yeah, well, it turned out it was a bidet,
Yeah.
not a way to flush. I have never in my life seen a bidet in public. Have you guys been to a restaurant and seen a bidet on the toilet?
Not in the United States.
I have
No.
never seen that.
No.
So I was like, that's why I was so confused, because everyone's like, you never heard of a bidet? I'm like, I've heard of them.
You think they would have a sign in a restaurant that would say, hey, FYI.
Yeah, this is a bidet.
Right.
But also, that just became my new favorite restaurant.
Yeah, it's called
If they-
Siriana in
if
Westlake.
they
It
have
was
a
really
bidet,
good food.
yeah.
Ooh, like the Clooney movie.
Yeah, but when I turned it a little bit, I don't know if there just wasn't enough pressure or what, but the water flowed down.
Well, there's a depends on which way you turn it too.
I turned it to the right, and the water flowed down, not out. It didn't shoot out. It flowed down. It
Up,
looked like it
but
was
not
flushing.
out.
It looked like it was flushing, so that's why I cranked it. And my immediate reaction is that it hit me, and I went, oh! 'Cause it
You
was-
got very wet.
Dude, it shot so hard out of there. And then
404.
I'm crying laughing. I am laughing so hard because now we have to go. Like, this is my only outfit for the day.
Right.
I have no other clothes. And I'm trying. I was like, okay, there's a
And
hand
it's a
dryer.
gray sweatshirt.
It's a gray hoodie.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no hiding
No
this.
obscuring it at all.
I went to go use the hand dryer to dry my shirt, and the hand dryer was broken.
Of course.
So this is a restaurant that has a broken hand dryer and
But
a
a
working
bidet.
bidet.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like taking all the paper towels and trying to blot it up. And I come out, and Brian has this wide eye, and he looks at me, and he just puts his hands on his face, and he's trying not to make me feel bad, but he's laughing, and he goes, what happened to you? He goes, I heard you scream, and I almost came into the bathroom and I was literally.
Was this at the end of dinner? This was at the middle or the beginning or middle?
This is the middle.
Yeah.
I got up to use
There's
the
still
restroom
eating to
halfway
be
through.
done.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have lost my shrimp
Dude,
if
I
I
was
heard you. If I
crying.
heard two scream in the bathroom.
Well, he
I'm
was
just sitting
like-
there eating.
That's exactly what he's like. I was worried because the bathroom's right by the door. I didn't know somebody was trying to
Trying to beat down the door.
And I'm like, can barely hold catch my breath. I'm laughing so hard. And he's looking at me, he's like, what the hell? And I explained to him what happened. And then he got up to check the men's room. The men's room had a bidet too. And he goes, why would you just turn a knob? And why wouldn't you turn it while you were sitting on it? I was like, I thought it was a way to flush the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And so even worse than that, where we had to go afterward is we had dropped his daughter off to a birthday party. So we dropped her off, went and picked up some mums, went and had lunch, and then we were going back to pick her up. So now I have to face all the other parents, and my shirt is completely soaked through.
Funny bidet story. You guys are going to love this.
Dude, it was the worst. And I mean, I couldn't even be mad because it made me laugh so hard. But I was like, is it less embarrassing to tell them that I'm lactating? That like, I don't know, I've got a newborn somewhere.
Oh,
and
man,
this
that's
is
only
my
going to add
boob
to the
leaking?
people going, because they probably just heard you say I'm lactating, and then she doesn't say no babies. She's pregnant.
No, I would think bidet mishap would have been a funny story to tell just about anybody.
Nobody said anything. They were all very polite.
Well, they're not gonna.
People are very polite.
It had dried a little bit at that point,
Yeah.
but you could definitely see that there was a much darker gray spot. Not completely wet, but
right.
a much darker gray spot down the entire right side of. You got to check the video out
Maybe
on.
they did think you were nursing and screwed up.
Might have been. It's on Instagram and TikTok if you want to check it out. Mary Santora Comedy.
I sent it to you, Alan, if you want to see that.
There's no cussing. I can barely breathe because I'm laughing so hard. But yeah, it was an interesting night. Interesting day, I guess.
I'm at a restaurant, and I didn't know what this was.
It's a knob.
Wait, so you've never, it's very clearly a bidet.
I did not know it was a bidet.
It's got the arm out on the side. So
it looked like it was attached to the toilet seat.
It is.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where the water line is.
So I thought
so you've
we're
never
in a
seen a
foreign
bidet.
restaurant. Maybe this is a weird foreign toilet, and this is how you flush it.
But you've never seen a bidet.
I've seen the one at Bill's house, but I don't remember it looking
Doesn't
like
yours
that.
look just like that? They kind of
Pretty
all look
close.
like that,
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty
Like
close.
the
Remember?
Pretty close.
I'm telling you, it's because when I turned it like a little centimeter of a turn, the water flowed down.
Well, because
so
I figured that out. Because there's just not enough water pressure for it to go up. So
I was like, this is going to flush when I turn this. Honestly, there's nothing to play. It's just me wheeze laughing so hard. That's the only thing. I couldn't get any words out, but.
It happens to a lot of people the first time they.
You commented that. You're like, this, and I was like, he's being sarcastic.
AJ used my bidet because he didn't notice it for a long time when we used to record the podcast there. And like the first time he turned it on, it like squirted him a little bit. And then he sat down on it and then just went to town on himself. And you can hear him screaming while recording the podcast. It's one of our most popular clips.
So, but wasn't he already familiar with the fact that you had a bidet?
He didn't notice it.
I'm telling you, man, if you're not looking for it,
yeah.
you're not looking for it, you're not going to notice it. And the fact that it was in public also threw me off.
Right.
I have never seen or heard of a public bidet.
Yeah. Here, this place is trying to do something nice for people.
Oh, it's all
and they
I
just end
wanted,
up with
though.
wet customers.
That's all I wanted all weekend was a bidet. I love a bidet.
Scream laughing.
Yeah, Bill's out of town. He's pooping in foreign spots.
Yeah.
He's all bummed out.
I mean, it was fine, but it's still, even when you have to drop one here, you just kind of miss the bidet. It's a different level of cleanliness.
I thought about sitting back down and trying it, but I didn't poop. I just peed. But then I was like, screw this. I'm completely soaking wet. My whole shirt is wet.
Brian will appreciate it. He doesn't even like when your guys' saliva touches, so a little extra rinse down there.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Yeah, so interesting weekend for me.
Yeah, public bidet. That's
wild, right?
That's a move. That's a move.
With no sign,
because somebody
warning.
at that restaurant on the regular is being called to clean up that bathroom from somebody who was unaware. They're either mopping something or there's particles all over the place.
Looks very clean, though. Looks like maybe that's a good way to keep the clean.
The guy, I'm cracking up laughing, and we're getting ready. Like we had sat for Brian was.
Yeah, did you say something to the waiter or?
So he didn't speak English very well, and so I'm laughing and laughing, and I cannot stop laughing. And so we finally get up to the to pay our check, and he looked at me. He's like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yes." And he like motioned to my shirt, and I was like, "This is 100% my fault." And he kind of looked at me and he's like, is something broken? And I was like, no, it was the bidet. And then he looked even more confused when I said bidet. I said the toilet, and they like turned the knob. I was like, I didn't expect it to
This guy doesn't even know the word bidet.
I don't think that he did.
In the restaurant he works in.
Because I said bidet.
It might only be in, is it?
No, there was one in the men's room.
There was one in the men's room? You went and checked?
Brian did. Okay. Yeah. But when I told him what happened, he started laughing too. And I was like, my fault, 100%. Nothing's broken. Like, I'm just an idiot. Like, this is all on me. And
He's like, yes, I knew that. You're a woman.
Yeah, right. He just goes, your fault? And I was like, my fault. Like
That's why we normally like you covered.
Right.
Don't get wet. Alan, the first time I saw a bidet, I accidentally shot the water into my mouth. At my friend's it's clean water.
But
Yeah.
still.
But still, you know.
All right.
Love a good bidet.
Mike in Parma doesn't want us to confuse NBA Youngboy with NDA Youngboy. It was Poundcake's date over the weekend. All right, I'm going to
Nice
break.
clap back there.
Yeah, I'm going to have those In Flames tickets for you. If you dig In Flames, they're coming back around. You don't have to travel to see them. They're coming to Cleveland. They're going to do a show October 22 this month at the Masonic. So we'll get you set up for that in a bit. 35192 to text, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show.
On iHeartRadio.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW.
The 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars in all of music.
Halsey brings the celebration.
You guys know how to have fun. Luke Combs brings the country.
Lionel Richie celebrates half a century of hits.
Avril Lavigne proves she's pop punk's princess.
Pitbull parties on stage.
Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo play the classics.
Sam Smith launches a new era.
I couldn't wait to give this song to you guys.
Maren Morris takes Vegas to church.
Diddy takes you on an emotional ride.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Black Eyed Peas drop the anthems.
Morgan Wallen brings the house down.
Megan Thee Stallion puts on a show you'll never forget.
I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
And so much more.
All hosted by Ryan Seacrest from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Don't miss our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
This Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. on the CW. WMMS weather.
Overnight, mostly clear, low 40. Tuesday, patchy fog in the morning, otherwise sunny. High tomorrow, mid-60s. Sunny on Wednesday, a high near 70.
This report is sponsored by MGM Northfield Park, where winning happens.
Trick or treat, these prizes are sweet. Visit MGM Saturdays in October for the $250,000 Wicked Winnings Golden Ticket giveaway. Find a golden ticket for your chance to win a Mercedes, cash, free play, and more. Find your fun at MGM Northfield Park.
iHeartRadio Fiesta Latina is brought to you by the Juvederm Collection. Visit Juvederm.com for product information.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
9 out of 10 people who died from COVID were 50 or older.
If you're 50 plus, get your updated COVID vaccine now.
It could save your life.
We can do this. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The new era of Thursday Night Football is here, and it's only on Prime Video.
This Thursday, two offensive stars go head-to-head as Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts travel to Denver to take on Russell Wilson and the new-look Broncos. Pre-game coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, delivered by Little Caesars. Not an Amazon Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. It's the Colts and the
.com/business. Batteries Plus.
Dear Young Rockers, Season 4 is going to be different. You'll be hearing someone else's story. That someone is Nadia Marie. Nadia had her life severely interrupted when she was hit by a car and ended up with severe amnesia that no one was able to help her through.
Thanks, Chelsea. I hope that you will join us to listen to Dear Young Rockers Season 4 on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's time to give stuff away.
All right, I want to go see In Flames. They're bringing a lot of great bands with them. Born of Osiris, Awesome, Darkest Hour, and Hammerhead. All 4 bands on the bill. It's this month. It's Saturday night, October 22nd, at the Cleveland Masonic Temple. It's a good venue. MasonicCleveland.com for the details. In Flames and Friends. Caller 10, and these tickets are yours. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Alan Cox. He's been asked to leave on multiple occasions.
Get out!
He does that whole, huh?
I can't hear you. It's too loud in here.
Thing.
100.7 WMMS.
Guardians play tonight, 6:10, as we get just a couple of games away from the end of the regular season. Playing the Royals, 6 games total. And they beat them last night. 7-6 was the final there, so they're halfway through this series. 6:10 tonight on MMS is when you will hear them, and also on the iHeartRadio app. And then 6:10 tomorrow night. And they'll finish with an afternooner on Wednesday, and then that first wild card game is going to happen on Friday. The time is still to be determined, as is the Guardians' opponent. Not sure who they'll be playing. It would be the Blue Jays or the Mariners or the
Rays
of Tampa. Mariners, by the way.
Most likely the Rays.
The Mariners broke the longest streak, the longest postseason drought in all 4 major sports. All 4 major sports. The Seattle Mariners have made the playoffs. For 21 years, they didn't make it into the postseason. Longest of all 4 major sports leagues. So, Seattle fans, I know we got a handful around here. A buddy of mine's a big Seattle Mariners fan.
Got a couple friends that are Mariners
fans.
Yeah.
They clinched their spot. So, we'll see. People have made the point that the Mariners would arguably be the toughest team for the Guardians to be playing. But by the time you get to the wild card, anybody can have a good or a bad game. So we'll see. But Friday is when that first wild card game is going to be. We don't know what time. Don't know if this program will be preempted or not. We'll wait and find out patiently.
I'll wait. I'm not going to be patient.
I mean, I guess we have to wait. We don't know. Boy, how about those guys cheating at the fishing?
Oh.
What?
That was some crazy drama, and that's like local.
Yes, this is a national story right out of Cleveland. The pro fishing world rocked. I would think that a fish detective would know this story inside and out. What do you mean, what?
Playing dumb, Alan. I'm the secret detective on
Oh,
the case.
yeah.
I can't
Okay.
I see.
disclose any.
What?
Then tell us what you can disclose.
I can't disclose anything.
Bill, she's playing dumb, all right? Let her.
There was a cheat,
There was a cheat.
and it happened.
There certainly was.
Surprisingly.
That's right. There was a cheat. I'd love to play the audio for you of the guys getting found out, but it is so replete with expletives.
So much screaming.
Yeah, these guys
and
just
swearing.
F-bombs all over the place. Just mad that these 2 guys who've been disqualified from the whole event were cheating. And I had to have someone explain this to me because I didn't realize that you were on your own for so long. I'm like, I would think that a tournament of this caliber, that you would be constantly overseen because it would be so easy to do this. I don't know. Clearly, people are operating in the honor system. These 2 guys weren't. It was determined when they got their catch back, and they were all catching the same kind of fish and couldn't figure out why these 2 dudes' fish weighed twice what everybody else's similar fish would weigh. This is an elite field of 30, 2 fisherman teams. So 60 people total. They were competing for $30,000. So not life-changing money.
But a lot of money.
That's life-changing money.
But is this cheating-worthy money?
Depends how much money you have.
I think it's cheating worthy if you're getting away with it, like these guys apparently had been getting away with this several times.
Jacob Runyon of Cleveland and his tournament fishing partner Chase Kaminsky of Hermitage, Pennsylvania, had seemed to be the best walleye anglers to ever, I'm just reading this as written at cleveland.com by Darcy Egan, seemed to be the best anglers to ever probe the big waters of Lake Erie for money-winning trophy walleye the last couple of years. So these guys were on a streak, and they got found out. Tournament director wanted to put his hands on the walleye in their weigh-in bag. He said, I knew right away something was very wrong with those walleye. If you know your walleye.
And I do.
Like I know your walleye. One of the other regulars said he'd been told by these guys that everybody else might as well go home because they couldn't be beat. Always good to flex and, tell people. Just give them an opportunity to figure out that you're doing something wrong. He said, when I felt something hard in the belly of their first fish and their limit of 5 walleye seemed excessively heavy, I called for a fillet knife. And they found weights in the fish. And they also stuffed them with other fish pieces. We got weights in the fish. If you've seen this video, it's
crazy.
Dynamite. And it's these other guys ready. I can't believe they didn't tie the weights around their ankles and throw them back into the lake because
that would have been enough weight for that.
You can Google weighted fish scandal.
Yeah.
It's a huge story. I saw this broke on
How does this
Twitter
not happen all the time, by the way?
Right. I saw this on most fishermen have integrity, but not these guys.
Well, these guys have been a win, and a total of 10 sinkers were ultimately removed from the 5 walleye. They got 10 sinkers out of the fish, but you know what they also got? 2 stinkers.
Out of the fishing tournament.
And these guys, there were a couple of stinkers. Many didn't take much to fire up the crowd who had suspected these 2 guys of cheating regularly to consistently win expensive fishing boats and walleye slam fishing derbies and tens of thousands of dollars in tournaments. These guys had been screwing other people too. So why isn't
how are they not cutting open the fish at every tournament?
That's my question. You would think it's so easy to weight your fish. I thought this would have been standard operating procedure to cut open the fish to make sure there's nothing hinky going on. The 2 had slipped the 12-ounce egg sinkers in their walleye and patted them with walleye flesh so the sinkers wouldn't bump into each other and make noise. Out of all the sports scandals, really, to come out of Northeast Ohio, I don't know who had pro fishing on their bingo card.
Right. This is the fishiest.
Haven't we suffered enough with the massage guy?
These guys are losing it.
Yeah.
Call the cops.
Yes. You guys should be in jail.
Yeah.
Fish jail.
That's theft.
So they call.
They're not wrong, though.
I get it.
They call ODNR and the cops and the whole bit. They told these guys to leave immediately because the other guys were going to beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, dude.
The one dude had already locked himself in his truck in the parking lot. Why wouldn't you just peel out?
So are they going to make him give everything back?
We wanted to see if maybe...
You mean from the past things they've won?
I guess they can't really prove...
I don't think they can prove...
that they had been doing this the whole time.
But clearly, While cheating in fishing tournaments is rare, this says, those who have risked it have found themselves severely fined and even jailed. A cheating angler becomes a pariah in a sport where competitors rely their reputations on friendly sponsors for expense money and fishing tackle. Pro fishing is not an inexpensive sport, by the way. So that's why I'm like $30,000 in that context didn't sound like a lot of money to me. For 2 guys, for a team.
There's an expensive fishing store.
It's called Cabela's.
Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop, where Geddy Lee used to...
It's a big old pyramid.
Orvis.
That's a men's clothing store.
It's a fishing store.
Orvis?
Yeah. My boyfriend's best friend is real into fishing. And so
Good
we went.
pun.
What did I say?
Real.
Oh.
What am I thinking?
So we went in there to get him like a gift card, and I was like, oh, $50 will get him nothing from this store.
No.
Like you couldn't even get a pair of
like a
fishing
$200
socks.
gift card. Yeah,
right.
It's very expensive.
But when I had no idea. I've never fished, but walking into that store and being like, damn, dude, for this to be a full-time hobby?
Yeah.
Man.
It ain't cheap. So the Lake Erie Walleye Trail, and there's also something called the Fall Brawl Lake Erie Walleye Derby, posted an apology and kept these two guys from the standings. Yeah, that's it. You're like your fishing career's over.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done because
who's gonna sponsor you?
No one. And you're wearing the scarlet letter around.
Tristan Thompson? He's like, hey, these are my kind of guys. Do they do personal sponsorships in professional fishing?
Yeah. So anyway, for me to read it to you doesn't do any of it justice. You got to see that video that's going around
wild.
of everybody screaming at these guys. Just yelling at them. But if you saw the story broke and kind of had a chuckle and then realized that it was a local Northeast Ohio, Cleveland story, gone international, these guys might think, all right, all we've got to do is get out of Cleveland and we'll be fine. Nope. Your names have been tainted. The one guy's from PA. He's got to go back to the Keystone State with his head hung low. And there was an Asian head hung low was one. Was one of the what was I thinking of? The
Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Li Fook, and Bang Ding Ao.
Those Asian pilots is what I was thinking of from that few years back. So yeah, for these two guys to have gotten themselves, in a whole bunch of trouble.
Just bottom feeders.
They are. They are finished. So, but again, I was most interested about how this doesn't happen all the time.
Because
maybe I'm underestimating, like Bill said, maybe I'm underestimating the integrity of the pro fishermen.
Pro fishing community.
And these, I don't know if these were young guys. They must have been young guys, right? Couple of young bucks on the scene.
I think they
think they're going to tell me what to do.
I don't think you can tell how old a fisherman is. They all look the same.
They all look
like in their 30s,
like,
like late 30s, early 40s.
Well, my goodness.
Also, the shirts that they wear with all the sponsors, like it's just the best.
Dude, we went to
such a good style.
We went to a cookout maybe a month or two ago, and a buddy of mine from middle school was there, and he had on a shirt like that, and I was like, "What are you sponsored in?" Like,
it's covered in logos and stuff.
It's covered in logos. It's like that jersey material kind of, and he's like apparently a very well-known cornhole dude. In like,
has he been on the championships?
Yes, he like competes for money, and he has like personal sponsorships and stuff. And
it's no joke.
Every once in a while, I've caught that on ESPN.
Yeah,
and you get sucked into it because the competitors are. It's the most evenly. It's the most even sport because
it's boring if you ask me.
It was incredibly boring.
I love cornhole.
But there's 14-year-old
so
girls.
Good that it's like every single throw is a wash.
Right.
I see.
So it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I see.
But
yeah, he shows up in this thing, and I was like, "What competition did you just come from?"
There's like 14-year-old girls going against 65-year-old guys,
and it's the same.
And they're all just as good as each other. And
they're all sober. That's no fun.
Right. And the thing is, they've all been playing for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because
that's all you do.
That's all they do. That's all they do.
Well, you can go pro in any sport, right? The only difference is how much the purses are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're probably not getting rich being a professional cornhole player. That whole pro cornhole thing is kind of in its infancy, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to take off. Because, like Mary said, it's pretty boring.
It's
because
just, like
they
watching
just keep getting it in. Now, the only thing that's cool is one guy has a great nickname, the Throwbot.
There it is.
Mike in Parma's calling this the leadliest catch.
The
weights. Those guys are definitely guilty. So, okay. Anyway, there's never been a scandal in fishing history on this scale. Yeah. Well, and also people are going, yeah, like that chick that cheated in poker. I'm like, they didn't determine that she cheated. Just a bunch of dudes got all pissy because a girl played poker the way you're supposed to play poker, which I think did you see that hot chick that
bluffing
won on kind of a weak hand? She won a poker tournament and they all accused her of cheating with like a device in her hand or something like that.
I didn't see that story, but
Bobby Lee or something.
You were still talking about the fishermen because they cheated on the river.
Poker joke.
Get it?
Poker fish joke.
You're welcome, bro.
Yeah.
How many times are you going to find one of those?
Not often.
Mary Santora, right here. You're welcome.
The fish detective.
Where am I going to be? Boston.
Boston.
I got nothing coming up in Ohio anytime.
Robbie Jade Lou is this girl they're accusing of cheating scandal is rocking the poker world.
I mean, it's all started with
many scandals.
With the guy that used the vibrating C ring.
Yeah, the butt plug chess guy. Yeah. Robbie Jade Lou, one of the strangest poker hands you've ever seen. So they're saying that there's no way that she could have won
$269,000 bet
out of pure luck. So they're accusing her of cheating. But because this guy is a real good poker player and hasn't been in it for very long, I guess. She's got big boobs and everybody's, it's not hard to distract dudes.
Here's my point.
If you're sitting there looking like that.
Also, if you don't have a job and all you do is maybe all she does is play online poker all day. And she showed up to a tournament and was like, I was born for this.
I guess.
Picked it up over the pandemic.
People have done it before. People have come out of nowhere and won huge pots.
Chris Moneymaker.
Probably not his real name.
I think it is.
You sure?
Boy, you got to live up to a name like that if that's your actual name. I knew a woman years ago whose last name was Cash Dollar.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, boy, you can't be.
Oh, yeah, I know her.
Huh?
I know it. I know
she's not local. I mean, she's.
Well, I know someone that has that last name.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a common name, but there's more than a few people have it.
What was her hand?
Left.
All in turn for $250,000, despite not having more than a pair. That's what it was. She called him and
But
only
she
had
bluffed.
a pair. Right.
Yeah. Christopher Moneymaker. Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, you've got to. If he changed his name, that's pretty sweet. Moneymaker's ancestors made silver and gold coins and chose the name Moneymaker as a modification of their German name, Nurmacher. So, yeah, man, if your name is Moneymaker, I mean, your name's Squire. I mean, you should have been some kind of...
But that's nothing.
You should have been some kind of soldier.
Well, it could have been Knights, but they got lazy.
Yeah. Bill Knight.
But no, we're just Squires.
Right.
Always an assistant.
So, as much as the fish cheating scandal has put the spotlight on Cleveland, I certainly hope that doesn't cast a huge shadow over this part of the country. There are plenty of honest fisher people with integrity. I don't think I saw one woman in that video, though. It looked like a whole bunch of dudes. There have to be professional female anglers.
They might make him play in a different league or something.
You think?
They might.
A female fisher person's league? A fisherwoman's league?
Maybe.
Why couldn't it be co-ed?
I don't know. I just deal with...
I don't know anything about it either.
I deal with the law underneath the water. I don't really know the rules of the sport above it.
I believe that's called maritime law.
No.
And the fact that you call it the law under the water leads me to believe...
She's trying to speak to laymen.
Yeah, listen, I'm
that
not trying to throw around fish terms for our customers here.
Gotcha.
I'm not trying to confuse anybody or
True.
make anyone feel like I'm better than them.
But just,
How would anyone living in a lakefront city know what the word maritime meant? I get
wouldn't.
it. You're thinking of maritime law.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Fish under the water law, maritime law.
Maritime law with Mary Santora.
Just, just so I would just like to hear some of these terms.
What terms?
Some of these fish detective terms that obviously we're not going to understand.
Oh.
But I'd like to hear like the technical terms for
Well,
them, just because I like to learn things.
Okay, when we arrest someone for committing a crime, we throw away the lock and key. LOCH.
Why would you throw away the lock?
That's a
Get it?
technical term?
Get
That's
it?
technical?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The lock and key.
Yep,
Should I say
that's
it again?
the technical term, Bill.
That's what we do when we're in Scotland.
Scotland! We throw away the lock and the key.
That's the only one I can give you without getting arrested myself.
Oh. Now, who is the governing body for fish? You have like a fish sergeant or, okay.
I'm a detective.
You would be arrested.
Yes.
Detective first grade or?
No. That was when I was 6.
Oh, you were a detective
Yeah.
in the first grade.
Mhm.
That was first grade detective.
Yeah.
All right.
But still a fish detective in first grade.
Yeah.
No.
You start easy. Goldfish, you explore carnivals.
Guppies.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're trying to see if there's anything hinky at those carnival games. There always is,
Mhm.
but you know that going in.
Yes.
So that must be difficult to determine who's just doing normal carny stuff and who's really breaking the maritime laws.
Well, the maritime laws of a carnival are way different because they're traveling. So they're hard to track down. They're hard to prosecute.
Every district has its own.
It's kind of like how in international waters, the laws can be murky. Same with carnies.
Murky water laws. I get it. Murky laws. All right. Well, listen, if you think you've got some kind of fish crime on your hands.
Hit me up.
Yes. Hit Mary up. I've got to take a break. If you want to text me, 35192, that's where those come in. AlanCoxShow.com, that's where the pictures come in. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
section of your local grocery store. If you're searching for inspiration, visit Goya.com where you'll find countless recipes and usage ideas. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
The Buzzard. The home of the Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
Girls, this is your opportunity right here. A nice boy, let me tell you that.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
Poundcake, any idea who this is? Does this band sound familiar to you?
Beastie Boys?
Nailed it.
Not the Beastie Boys.
Oh.
Want to take another stab?
Radiohead.
Not Radiohead. Singer's name is Perry Farrell.
I've never even heard that name.
Band's called Jane's Addiction.
Oh, okay, I've heard that band.
This wasn't one of their biggest songs, to be fair. It's one of my favorites. It was called Just Because. I always think of it still as new Jane's Addiction, but it's 20 friggin' years old. But Jane's Addiction, Dave Navarro, a while ago, they're coming through on that Smashing Pumpkins tour. They're playing the Romo Fijo end of this month, and it's no secret that Dave Navarro has been battling a really bad case of long COVID. And they finally had to come out and say that he's not going to be on this tour with the Smashing Pumpkins. They got Eric Avery back with them. He's their bass player, has kind of been in and out of the band for a while. But Dave Navarro is like, I can't go out on this North American run because long COVID has just knocked him down. He did a whole big thing on it, I think, a few months back where he's like, I'm not really out in the public eye. I think he still does the Ink Master over there in Paramount Plus, but Dave Navarro's had a real hard time with long COVID. But for Jane's fan, he's such a big part of that band. I'm not sure how that's going to, if you're a Jane's Addiction fan, that would be a serious bummer. But he says, don't worry, because we got a big 2023 planned. It's like the 35th anniversary of Nothing Shocking or something. So who knows? But they haven't gone out in a minute, I don't think. And they're doing that date with the Pumpkins here. So if you're into them, keep that in mind. Poundcake's not. He thinks that they're the Beastie Boys.
Well, they sounded Beastie Boy-esque.
This band sounded like the Beastie Boys.
Yeah. But wow, I like is the lead singer the one with his shirt off all the time?
Sometimes. I mean, Dave Navarro always has his shirt off, because if you were Dave Navarro's age and looked like him, you would.
Is he the one with the black beard?
Dave Navarro, yes.
Okay, well then he's the one. Ooh, yeah, he looks good.
Yes. Okay. Well, listen, there are probably who knows how many people would listen to me playing that song and go, "Oh, Alan's digging out some Beastie Boys." You might not be alone in that. What do I know? I could just be unnecessarily giving you a hard time. Dave Chappelle has announced his New Year's Eve gig. He's going to do New Year's Eve in Columbus at the Schottenstein Center. Is it Stein or Steen?
Schottenstein.
The Schottenstein Center. New Year's Eve. Dave Chappelle, In Your Dreams, is going to be there. So if you like Dave Chappelle and you don't want to drive all the way to Dayton to see him, and you don't mind putting your cell phone in those yonder bags, because everybody's doing that now.
Oh, man. When I went and saw Mulaney, this lady in front of us was flipping out about that. She's like, why do I have to put my phone in a bag? I paid my money. I should be able to have my phone.
To record?
She just wanted to make sure her phone was out. And the guy, the people are just trying to get you through the door. And they're like, that's the rule. Either you can not come in.
Well, I could understand somebody being upset at the notion, but that's all public information. They tell you when you buy the tickets. If you're reading the fine print, it says, it happened we went to see Chris Rock, happened we went to go see, Marin lets you keep them out, but a lot more acts that are doing that. Yeah, a lot more comics are having you throw them in those yonder bags. And Chappelle.
Especially bigger comics like a John Mulaney or Chappelle that are working on something to put on Netflix. So they don't want it spoiled by someone taking YouTube videos and posting that.
And I think Chappelle might have been the first guy to do it. Like Louis was doing it for a while.
Louis
but
and
like
Chappelle.
Louis and Rock and Chappelle were like the guys doing it.
Seton, he came on the show that day, and we were talking about that, and he said that at the Cellar now, they make people put phones in it's like an envelope, and and he said it's made the shows so much better.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about somebody blowing you up over something that's half cooked.
But even it just makes people so much more attentive too,
because they're not on their phones.
I was in Columbus Thursday. I had a decent amount of listeners come out. So thank you to the customers who came out to Columbus. And there was a girl in the front row who had her phone propped up on her glass and recorded the entire show. And after the show, she came up and bought a CD. And I was like, hey, I don't really care that you have that video. Just please don't post it anywhere. Because I'm like, who am I? I'm not going to tell everybody.
Why was she filming the whole show?
She said she wanted to keep it for herself so she could remember it. I said, I don't.
The whole show.
I said, I don't care if you keep that video on your phone. Just please don't post it anywhere because that's stuff that's getting recorded on a special in December.
Did you tell her that if she has recorded evidence, that's not her remembering it?
Well, no. So I didn't think about that. But
see, remembering it would be if you didn't have the video of it and you had to use your mind grapes to figure it out.
Yeah,
you had to use your brain meat. Well, yeah, people figure that the ticket they buy entitles them to everything that they want to do.
They sure do.
Hey, I bought my ticket. I can do whatever I want to do. And the venues are like, look, on the back of the ticket says we're not responsible for anything.
Well,
so it's this weird confluence of like people who aren't really being cool about the situation and venues that are like, if anything happens, read the back of your ticket.
And also, it's the artists that put this in place. So John Mulaney's the one asking. It's like John Mulaney asking you,
hey, please don't do this.
Please don't do this.
Right.
And she was getting all fired up and trying to rally people like, we shouldn't have to put our phones away. And everybody's just like, no, we just want to get inside. It's fine.
Was this an older lady? Or
she was probably around my age.
Yeah.
She just really wanted her phone out. But they have stations set up where you can go and check your phone if you need to.
Oh, they do really?
Yeah.
You can leave if you're so desperate to get your phone. I mean, well, because the excuse people give is, well, what if I get an emergency call or something? Which I guess is true. True. You don't know. You wouldn't want to be leaving a comedy show and find out that your family was trying to call you 100 times. I mean, yes, that would suck. But, I don't know. You're kind of an impasse there.
But it's also, I mean, there was a time when you're out, you're just out, and people aren't used to that anymore. But I like going to shows like that and not being able to check my phone and just being there and enjoying the show. It's nice. Now, if it's a show that I didn't want to see, I'd want my phone. Like if I had to go to a concert with one of the country folks that Mary likes, I'm going to need my phone.
Oh, come on. Be in the moment.
I don't want to be in the moment.
Well, because bands aren't doing this, I don't think.
Well, some
Jack White does, doesn't he?
Jack White does this, yeah.
Huh. Well, that must be relatively... when we saw Jack White, he wasn't doing that, right?
No, I think it's like a newer thing that he's doing.
Hey, turn your phones over because I'm going to play... I don't want you filming me playing Fell in Love with a Girl.
I don't
want 20-year-old song.
To hear that the new stuff sounds kind of like the old stuff.
Right. Yeah, with a band, you would think that they might want people disseminating new stuff. Because otherwise, it's just a video of them playing an old song, and who cares about that? I mean, anytime you see concert video, and maybe the artists understand this, anytime you see concert video posted, it's usually garbage.
Yeah.
The song is all
over it.
The song, or the music, rather, the sound it's just a huge wall of sound. And your phone doesn't really process that well. Unless you're a little bit above the sound. Like, let's say you're in a box. The Agora or something, right?
Old box boy.
I mean, I took a bunch of them. We went to go see Seven Dust last time they were through, and I was sending a friend of mine videos because she was in Pittsburgh and couldn't make the show. And so I was sending those off to her because I know she really likes them. But otherwise, like, people who are kind of standing there filming, I don't know. If you're a comedian, you have different concerns than a band.
Right, exactly.
Obviously.
And especially if you're on a comedian on the level of a Chris Rock or John Mulaney or Dave Chappelle, where that's a commodity to get that on film, because then you can leak material that they're working on for their special.
Right. Correct. That's all correct. Alan Cox Show After Hours line, if you want to leave us messages, you can do it there. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey, guys, Dick from Akron here. You guys were talking about people being surprised that metal fans are in other forms of music. I think it's because people think that metal fans think that other forms of music is trite and simple, and metal is real complicated. I think a lot of metal fans also tend to be musicians, whereas lots of fans of other forms of music are just casual listeners. So I think that's some of the reason. I do listen to metal too, not as much as you or Mary's boyfriend, do, but I do listen, and I kind of understand that. I've had a lot of friends listen to it as well. So I think that's a big reason. And hey, Alan, can you hit the post on "I Can Dream About You" by Dan Hartman? Hey, show back.
I can dream about, what is this, the lake? Call the lake.
We'll play anything.
Yeah, that's right. I can dream about. Yeah, it is funny. We were talking about that last week about how metal fans can be kind of myopic when it comes to other forms of music, but it's interesting to me that metal was always derided as just dumb and aggressive, but it's some of the most, and your boyfriend would say, it's some of the most challenging to play.
Yeah.
Its artists are among the most skilled musicians there are. And so
fast.
Well, it can be. But, like metal.
The way that he drums is like
if he's
1,000
doing
miles per
blast
hour.
beats and stuff like that. But metal fans have a chip on their shoulder because, to Dex's point there, simpler music is more popular. Even within rock and metal, the dumber, simpler bands are more popular. They're just more easily digestible. Nickelback sells way more than Coheed and Cambria. Disturbed is way more popular than Porcupine Tree. I mean, Megadeth,
I don't think they
Megadeth is opening for Five Finger Death Punch at Blossom tomorrow night.
Which is wild.
Opening for them. So, because Five Finger Death Punch it's an aptly named band. But, yeah, so for people who think that, like, metal is dumb or, I don't know, a lot of it is a lot of music in any genre.
That's very dumb.
But it's very dumb.
But it's just, and the point that I think we were making was that a lot of people that listen to metal just listen to metal. And I think there's a lot of people that they say they like a lot of music. Like, I listen to all kinds of music, but they mostly listen to one kind of music and then will dabble here and there.
Within that genre.
Or they'll listen to two types of music. Not really, they're not listening to all the music. That's too much music.
But it is too much music.
It's too much music to listen to. You're not listening
Never
to
ending.
the world music.
Alan, I went to the Mulaney show, but I am curious. I'm a funeral director, and some nights I need access to my phone in case of a death call.
Yikes.
If you're a first responder like that, will they let you keep it with credentials? I don't think so. The whole point of something like that is they're not like taking people's individual situations. You could go out and check it occasionally.
Yeah, you can leave alerts on so that you'll feel it buzz if you really need that. But you have to go check it at one of the roped off areas. We had to get a special, because they let us backstage, and then we were hanging out with Seaton, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have Yonder Bag, like the clip that opens it?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, hold on." And so they had to like run and get one, because otherwise we would have had to break our phones out.
Right. Well, because people talk about how like Tool doesn't take your phone, but they're all like, "Hey, if you could not record this, we'd appreciate that." But of course, they're going to look out and they're going to see a whole bunch of people holding their phones up.
Right.
So people are like, I paid for my ticket.
Nobody's got enough memory to record a Tool song, though.
Right. Here, let me tell me who this band is, Poundcake.
This is the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, that's
there
the
you
Beastie
go.
Boys.
Yeah, I was immediately the first thing that popped into my mind. I was like, Alice in Chains. Immediately,
Alice in Chains.
For whatever reason, I'm like,
Now,
Alice
if you
in
had said Alice in Chains for
Jane's Addiction,
I'd been like, wow, he's at least in the right era.
Almost.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the Beastie Boys were the same era too.
Yes.
But just the completely different sound.
Who's this?
This is not the Beastie Boys as well?
You tell me.
This is the Beastie Boys.
All right. Just trying to see where you were coming from. That's
Okay,
all.
I was like, I do know something. I just picture the Beastie Boys in the yellow outfits with the boombox, and they're just like
Intergalactic.
Planetarium.
Yes.
Intergalactic
Planetarium. Intergalactic Planetarium.
I just didn't even know that they were like a rock band. I thought they were like a rap group, just the white versions.
Well, they kind of were.
Yeah, I mean they were. Yes. The Beastie Boys were white boy. What?
The white version of a rap group.
Like
the white version of a rap group.
I thought they were like the Run DMC, but just the white version. That's honestly what I thought the Beastie Boys were.
I see. Well, they were white guys.
Like cultural appropriation band.
Well, no, they were respected by Beastie. Nobody was throwing the Beastie Boys under the bus. That whole community was like, these guys are legit. Like Eminem. There were guys that had to give it up to Eminem. They were like, yeah, this guy looks pretty whack, but he knows it precisely what he's doing.
Well, he won all those rap battles. Now, at first, we watched 8 Mile at the Airbnb on Friday night, and at first, he was having a hard time. He wasn't able to win any of the rap battles because he had so much stage fright. But he overcame his fears and prevailed.
Did he ever write a song about it?
Nope.
Huh. All right. Maybe he should have done that.
Before he could.
Yeah, maybe he should have done that.
He says, I don't like writing songs about my life.
Yeah.
I like doing absurdism.
None of these have any bearing on my actual existence. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. These are not autobiographical. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What's going on, Mike?
Not much. I just want to weigh in. The phones at the shows lately are out of control. I was at Josh Wolf, 2 weeks ago. Phones going off in the middle of the show. Saw Segura, phone going off at the show. Went out to Sickler's show. There was a phone going off. They got them out on the table, going off at full volume in the middle of the show.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
I think people, I think it kind of, I don't even think it registers with them as rude. I think people just go, this is my phone. Everyone has one. You just got to deal with it.
No big deal.
Yeah.
There are many like it, but this is mine.
That's right. And also, nobody in the audience is ever thinking from the perspective of the person on the stage. Nobody ever goes, well, I don't want them to have a bad show. They think, I paid for my ticket. You should be lucky. You should consider yourself lucky I'm here. I guarantee you that's what those people think.
I was at a lot of those shows, too. I didn't see anybody at the Segura show taking their phones out, but I think maybe
it was
in the back.
Ringing.
Oh, really? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also,
Josh
just
Wolf called the one guy out on it, or lady or whatever. And as far as the artists, musical art, as far as musical artists, I used to do security at Blossom, and it was very common for artists to tell security that they didn't want phones out. So then we would have to argue with some drunk lady on the lawn,
God.
hey,
it's no good.
This is not a hill that I'm willing to die on. So
literally or
Dave
figuratively.
Yeah, exactly. Dave Matthews Band, I think, was real big on that. So very common, especially country.
Yeah. And you don't want to tell those people to put their phones down.
It's America.
The country concert's like, we don't want them to know that all we do is covers.
That's right. We're the Zach Brown Band. Don't film us,
Relax.
please. We're gonna get into a lot of copyright infringement suits. All right, I got a break. If you would like to text 35192, I will come back and have haunted schoolhouse passes for you. Oh, man, so much haunted stuff this time of year. The Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory in Akron. That's also the only situation in which you say laboratory is for Halloween time. So if you want to get down there and see that, I'll hook you up coming back.
This is the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW. The 2022
Tory down in Akron. Huge changes inside the schoolhouse this Halloween. New scenes, more scares, and incredible detail. Check out the Midway. They got food trucks there. You can get some beer before the fear. I like that. Beer before the fear. Tickets, info, all that. HauntedSchoolhouse.com. A couple of passes here for you. Be caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Forget the Rock Hall. When does Poundcake go into the Country Hall of Fame?
My truck, my beer, my guns.
It's the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
Guardians play tonight in under an hour, 6:10. Halfway through that series against Kansas City Royals, they kind of been going back and forth. Tonight and tomorrow, 6:10 games, and then they'll wrap the regular season on Wednesday with an afternooner right around the corner here at Progressive Field, and then Friday is the wild card game. That begins your postseason. We don't know what time that game will be or who they will play. So that information is still ahead of us. Remember a player named Shin Soo Choo?
Sure do.
He was here for a little while. I remember him leaving a few years after I got to Cleveland. And then I think he went down the road to Cincinnati. He played for a couple of teams after the Indians. He has gone home to South Korea and will be the highest paid player in Korean baseball history.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah, that's got to be good for him, right? I don't even think he's 40 yet. But
no, I don't think so. I think he's probably early 30s.
Is he early 30s? I thought he was older than that.
I'm not sure.
Shin Soo Choo from South Korea. Oh, he is 40. He just turned 40 in July. And he played for the Mariners, Indians, Reds, and Texas Rangers.
Yeah, I guess he was with the Indians a while ago.
Yeah. Yep. Late 90s, early aughts. Well, no, 2012 is when he left here.
Yeah.
But he'd been here for a few seasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he's going home to make a lot of money.
Good. Good for him. I would do that. I'd go play baseball in Korea for $130 million. I'd go to North Korea to do that.
Bill Squire, he's an outsider, but he's the highest paid North Korean baseball player in history. $130 million. Now that's $130 million North Korean.
No.
It's about $7,500 American.
I need it to be more than that.
Guys, I'm sorry. I can't come over to the People's Republic of Korea for any less than $130 million. Why is Taste the Biscuit circulating again?
I don't even know what that is.
There was a movie, it's got to be a decade old, I don't know how many people have seen it. It was called Chickens in the Shadows. It's this super low-budget mockumentary about this guy and this woman who are a 70s music duo, and they get back together to do a 3-city tour in California. I think it's on Amazon. If Chickens in the Shadows is on Amazon, it's a pisser, boy. And every so often, the Taste the Biscuit clip starts making the rounds again, and it's just them, the guys at the keyboard, and she's singing along. These are two actors, but again, it's like Spinal Tap, but for like a boomer couple getting back together. And I'm not quite sure why it's making the rounds again. I don't know if people are memeing it or what they're doing. But I'm always happy when it comes back around again because I think it's funny.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
And again, they're in this part of the movie, they're just performing in like a men's clothing store or something. So the guy's sitting there at a Casio keyboard and she is dancing and singing with him.
Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings. Taste the biscuit. tastes so good.
Oh yeah, the duo. They're called Toasters and Moose. That's the duo. I don't remember.
That's funky.
I don't remember if the guy is Toasters and she's Moose. And
Of the biscuit. Taste the butter spread. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the butter spread.
Now again, this is over 10 years old. I don't know if Cracker Barrel has ever gotten on a hold of this, or Bill Knapp's, or what's the one you used to work? Bill Knapp's, I guess, is a Michigan chain. Bob Evans.
Bob
That's the one,
Evans,
right?
yeah.
Down on the farm.
To get your butter spread all on me. I don't like the way it mixes with my mac and cheese. Cause when you're at KFC, you got that special sauce to stir my curiosity.
Right. So it goes on and on.
No,
It's silly, but it's
that's silly and it's fun and it's a good duo.
it's harmless.
But if we're talking about classic duos from cinema and television, I'm going Amy Lee and Uncle Baby Billy.
Misbehaving. Yeah.
I love that they call him Uncle
Baby Billy. Right. Running through the house with a pickle in my mouth.
Misbehaving.
Eyes on the windowsill, swimming in the creek.
Catching crawdads and playing with a stick.
I wore lipstick.
And I got caught shaving. Just two little country kids outside misbehaving.
Teacher said don't, but I said it anyway. Misbehaving.
Preacher said no, if you do, you're gonna pay misbehaving.
Kicking and spitting and cussing out loud.
Running through the house with a pickle in my mouth.
Playing in the street, look at me outside waving.
Just two little kids out there misbehaving.
Now, again, none of that, unfortunately, is as funny as a random sketch from I Think You Should Leave. But, I mean, it's pretty good. Poundcake likes Misbehaving.
I think it's cute. Because none of it rises to the level of stuff that we were doing when we were kids.
You weren't running through the house with a pickle in your mouth?
Oh, he was.
As a grown man, he is. Yeah, all
Last
right,
night or
man.
Thursday, whenever.
Yeah, Facebook
Saturdays,
dating.
yeah.
I put it to Rachel on my mom's chest while she was sleeping. Misbehaving.
I stole a copy of Unfaithful.
And I kept it at the same spot.
Yeah. That was his porn.
Bring it to my mom's room with a butter knife.
What?
Running up the stairs because my dad's too fat to get there.
Yeah.
I broke into my mom's room with a butter knife.
Oh, with a butter knife. Oh, because she had the tape in there? Is that why you broke in?
No, there was no tape. Like, for whatever reason, I guess we had just, like, jammed the door so many times from getting in there after she locked it. So, like, there was, like, a...
There were, like, hash marks on the outside of your mom's bedroom door? Oh, God.
Because it was a wooden door.
But she had a lock on it?
You push the knob in and turn it, and then that's what locks it from the inside.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is
the
hit
button on the knob. Yeah.
Exactly. So we jammed a knife in there and pushed it in, so then it unlocked the door. So that's when we would misbehave.
What were you trying to get in there?
We would wake her up for various things because my mom is essentially.
Oh God, she was sleeping.
So she would be like in a trance. Like we would have full-on conversations with her, and she wouldn't remember anything. So I'm like, Mom, I need $20 because we're gonna go purchase fireworks and then shoot them off in the backyard. And she'd be like, all right, hold on, let me get my pouch. And then give me money. If I was grounded or something, I'm like, Mom, I'm about to go outside. She's like, okay.
Why didn't you leave the woman alone?
We were kids. We were
I was a kid. We weren't breaking into my parents'
But your mom wasn't
bedroom.
trying to sleep then, and it wasn't that, they were asking permission, so they were doing what they needed to do, but she was asleep.
Let's be honest. There are a lot of latchkey kids who might have been in a similar situation to Poundcake's. They weren't breaking into their parents' bedroom.
Breaking in is
while
a very light term.
You just described what you did with a butter knife.
The door was locked.
And she was sleeping. The door was locked for a reason.
It was only locked because she had to get her sleep because she works night shift and taking care of sickly dead people.
Right. Sickly dead people. And your thought was, I'm going to wake her up.
Hardest kind of people to take care of the sickly dead one.
They're the hard ones, Always have an attitude.
Leave me alone. I'm sickly and almost dead. So you thought, I'm just going to break into.
My kid mind was, and
by the way, just to be clear, you weren't 4. You were like 12.
At this particular house, I was probably like from 9 to 12. I think we moved out of the house when we were 12. So that's an age of adolescence. Like you're old enough to
know better.
To know better.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't.
No, you're old enough to not hurt yourself, but you don't necessarily know better. Still, 12-year-olds do some very reckless stuff.
You also benefited from nobody in the house whooping your ass.
Well, she did. When she remembered what we did, she was like, wait a minute. Because she would be like,
where's my $20?
Exactly. She'd be like, wait a minute. I swear I had money here. I was like, oh, yeah. Don't you remember you gave me money to buy?
For fireworks for the backyard, Mom.
She's like, I did what? I'm like, you gave it to me. She's like, you know I was asleep. So then she's like, all right, now I'm about to whoop you.
Wow.
Because if she grounds us.
So it was buy now, pay later was your thought. You're like, well, we'll have the fireworks now, but she'll whoop my ass later on.
Yeah, because it was like.
But it will have been worth it.
Groundments were like rollover. Like, she would say, I'm grounded. And while she remembers, I'm grounded. But she would go to sleep and she would forget. And then I'm like, Mom, am I still grounded? No, just get out of my face.
We had too many kids to have any effective groundings.
She had
Same.
Five kids, too many. And we also weren't that bad at kids.
But you wouldn't have broken into your parents' bedroom if they were sleeping.
No, but this is the difference between, like, me and you were scared of our parents.
Yes.
Mary and Poundcake would just the way you guys talk about how
Make
you
their
talk
life
to
hell.
them and just like would just kind of just go at them. Like I couldn't imagine doing that with my parents.
Nope.
Well, I got my butt beat for years, but honestly, it wasn't until my parents split up that we started to mouth off and.
So it was the broken home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they felt guilty enough, so they weren't gonna really yell at us.
You took
for
advantage of
yelling
the guilt.
back.
I got
right.
some good. I'm like, I was like, I'm only acting out like this because I don't have a dad.
God.
Maybe if you could have kept your marriage together.
They were never married, but yeah, like my mom, I'd be like, I'm only acting out because I don't have a father figure. I'm like, I wouldn't be acting like this if I just had a masculine figure around. Ryan, all Ryan does is call me Four Eyes, and my shoes never match, and blah blah blah. So I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I guess. But wasn't there a dude that was around for a while? And you didn't act any
Yeah,
differently.
but
then
that
you
guy
just
was-
act out more.
He wasn't
Kind of trash.
I was like, he wasn't a good role model.
No, but I mean, you weren't. When he was around, you weren't any more scared you're going to get your ass whooped more?
No, because he wasn't my real dad. He wasn't my real dad, so he couldn't beat me.
Is that true? Only your real parent can spank you?
I mean, step
You might want to let a lot of parents know, step parents know that, because
By law.
it seems to be that that's not the case. There's all kinds of people getting their ass whooped by people that are their mom's boyfriend. The kids getting killed by their mom's boyfriend.
That's because they can't whoop them.
Dude.
They accidentally kill them.
They're holding it all in. They're
Going
like,
to go
damn it.
0 to 60.
My family group chat, we were talking over the weekend, me and my siblings, because my boyfriend's daughter is 6 and she was going to a birthday party and we dropped her off. It was a kid from school and he's like, is she too young? Like, should we feel weird about this?
A
Like,
drop-off party.
A drop-off. And I was like, no, I mean, there's the mom has your phone number, so if anything, yada, yada. And so I was texting my family group chat. I said, hey, how old were your kids when you guys started dropping them off at parties? And it was anywhere between like 6 and 8 was the consensus of when they would feel comfortable. It was like 2 hours. Drop them off from 3 to 5, come back, pick them up. And then we got on the topic of sleepovers, and I found out that almost no one in my family allows their kids to sleep over at other people's houses because they don't trust step-parents or stepmoms or uncles or whoever's in the house. They're like, my girls can go to parties, but they come home at night. My kids are 10 and they've never slept away from home because of basically what you said, that like step parents and older brothers and stuff are the ones beating people. And
I mean, I guess you got to know the other family too.
that's
but
what I
yeah.
said. I was like, he's like, my older brother was the one who was super adamant about it because he worked in CPS for a while. And he was saying how like his twin daughters are 10 and he goes, they do not sleep anywhere but this house. He goes, it's different if it's like my house or something
Do
like
they
that.
have
but
kids over for sleepovers?
They don't sleep there though.
Oh, they go
no
back.
sleepover
No
rule.
sleepovers.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
great.
my
like I would spend days in a row.
Oh, yeah.
At my friend's house.
gone.
Just like in the summer, I would sleep over, or like he would stay over at my house for 2 or 3 days in a
Yeah.
row, and it's.
I remember staying over. We didn't have people over that often because of the obvious you getting
the
up in
kids come over and they're
Yes.
They gotta go
hey,
to
want
church.
some molasses?
Exactly.
And you're like,
I
this
didn't
is
want
embarrassing.
people coming over and then on Sunday or Saturday morning or whatever it was, the molasses on the pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here's some. You guys want some snacks? Yeah.
Bran
here's
flakes.
we're watching a horror movie. You want some snacks? Yeah. Here's some baby carrots
and some prunes.
Yeah.
Regular.
There's peanuts in there too. So it wasn't a whole lot of that, but I was
salted.
But I was always staying over at friends' houses, and I remember this one friend. His parents had gotten divorced, and there was always a different dude coming out of his mom's bedroom on Saturday morning. And my friend was like, there was one time my dad came to pick me up, and he goes, I work with that guy. The dude comes out of like my friend's mom's bedroom, and he's like a guy my dad knew. He goes, hey, is that guy's name Glenn? I go, I don't know. He goes, I think I work with that guy. I said, well, he's banging Howie's mom, so... But,
Howie's mom
is got it going on. Yeah, knows how to work a schlong. So, but it was never anything where we felt unsafe.
But
It
you're
was
also
never-
a boy.
Yes, last time I checked.
Well, so that's different that everyone in my family has girls. And my sister, who she's the only one who has boys, she's like, those thoughts never even crossed my mind. My
I
kids have
see.
slept over. I've never even thought twice about letting them sleep over their friend's house,
Okay. But at a certain age, if they're very young, it's kind of negligible whether they're a boy or a girl. It's not like a young boy could overpower someone, whereas a young
I get
girl
that.
could.
But it's much more likely that, as historically speaking, I'm not speaking bad on stepdads or anything like that, but like the male figures are the ones,
yes,
causing
molesting
trouble.
and
I have a bit about that in my new special, Pure BS, about just like, there's a lot of people that get called this and that, but like have the same energy for all the rapists, basically. If you're a rapist, they're all bad.
But Poundcake, you say if I can't
I make
watch
it a lot funnier than that.
Yeah, I hope.
Poundcake says if we can't whoop him, I can't watch him.
Correct.
But you're not the parent, so you can't whoop him anyway, according to you.
Correct. That's why I don't watch them.
But your theory is if I could whoop them, I would watch them. That's the implication.
That's the implication, but I'm thinking back to like with teachers, I couldn't be a teacher unless I can spank children because there ain't no way I'm going to
But you're not their parent.
But I'm talking about step parents.
Right.
I was referring to step parents. You can't whoop them.
Step parents can't whoop you.
If
you're not supposed to.
If I'm related to the person and I know I have a good rapport with the parent, I'm like, listen, your kid. I don't care if you have. I will revise that to say if I can't whoop him, I can't watch him. But you can also have a webcam or whatever. Whatever
like a teddy bear cam,
a ring cam or whatever to watch me. So I'm like, you're not about to get me in trouble for anything. You know exactly what I'm about to do. Go to bed. No. Go to bed. I gave you a disclosure.
Gave you a disclaimer, you mean?
No, a disclosure.
A disclosure.
I've heard a lot of...
I just closed my hand and slapped you in the face.
And you have video evidence, and I need permission for you on camera. Hey, if you need to discipline my child, just with your hand, don't get carried away, but just a nice, that's all.
I've read a lot of like step parent blogs and things like that on like, how to blend a family and make it work, whatever. And one of the like consistent things through all of them is that the step parent should have no place in any discipline. That's on like everything I've read is like discipline is not your space. This is not for you. You do not partake in any type of discipline ever.
Oh, good. I nailed it.
Right. Well, I was like, there's times
so
where
even when you're married to their parent,
they say it is not your place. Every blog I've read.
But is that if it's the
mostly
kids going back and forth? Like I was there. And we were the two-parent household.
Yeah, there was no other father,
So
I mean, and this is mostly geared towards stepmoms.
A lot of people get married because they want the help.
Right. Well, and that's what I was going to say.
And if you can't do it, it's still on them. She's like, well, what did I get into this for then?
My boyfriend will get frustrated and need to like walk away. And it's like, I can't walk in. They're all like, hey, let's do your hair. It's like, she's still in trouble. You still have to be part of that,
Because he's always going to be the bad guy and you're always going to be the cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of these things I read, I'm like, none of this doesn't, I mean, sure, in theory, it seems like it might work, but execution-wise, there's no way.
Well, every family's got a different equation.
I was going to say, it
too,
depends
so,
on what type
yeah.
of stepfather. If I had a stepfather like Bill, I would feel a different type of way. If I know he was.
Oh, you'd have your own show right now. You'd be,
I'd be more driven.
doing everything.
so successful.
I'm placing blame.
So good.
I'm just saying, if I see someone.
You'd be the United States ambassador to Zimbabwe right now.
He'd be on in New York, and Wendy Williams would be his co-host.
Oh.
She'd be working for him. And not that Wendy Williams right now. I'd get her into shape too. Not this crazy can't be in control of her money anymore, Wendy. She'd be top-notch Wendy, but she'd still be Poundcake's co-host.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Well, see, you missed out, Bill.
Still have a chance.
You missed out.
Still
Not
have a chance.
Poundcake.
Your mom's
Bad
single.
bitch,
Yeah.
No committal.
You.
Yeah,
And yet
Bill.
he was so resistant to the notion of you getting it on with his mom when you've just explained what an amazing future that could entail.
We can turn your life around right now. Just all you got to do, Poundcake, is give Alan and I, let us.
We're going to be your conservator.
Yeah, we're going to be
That
your
has nothing to
conservators.
do with it. Just
Yes, it does.
My mom, be her conservator. Don't be mine.
We want your mom to conserve her energy for Bill Squire. That's right. We've got to take a break. If you want to text 35192, Guardians baseball not far off. 6:10 is your first pitch tonight. As we get towards the end of the regular season, just a few games left. They're going to play the Royals at Progressive Field.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7
WMMS.
knows you can get any 2 or more mix and match items delivered for $6.99 each. As for this offer, availability and charges may vary. Delivery orders subject to local stores' delivery charge. Local stores may charge extra for some menu items, crust types, toppings, and sauces.
The Buzzard. The home of the Buzzard. Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
I'll use it, but I'm not paying for it.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
35192. I got a text in before we get out of here in a few minutes. Guardians baseball tonight, 6:10. Halfway through that series against the Royals. Big game number 4. They beat them last night. So we'll see what they do tonight. And then Friday starts that wild card run. Still don't know who they're going to be playing or what time that will happen, but we'll have those details for you here on MMS. Remember, throughout the month of October, you can use the word spooky as your promo code right around the corner of the flagship store from us at CLE Clothing Company. But they have them all over the place. If you just want to get online, do some shopping, they have retro Buzzard merch. They've got whatever appropriate gear you want.
They got spooky gear even.
Spooky!
I think they got some CLE, like Halloween stuff.
Oh, yeah? Well, there you go. I think so. So just remember, that'll be easy to remember then. You can use spooky for 20% off. You'll find their Dogs Gotta Eat U.S. Tour 2022.
Almost all mammals have to eat.
It doesn't even have to be, people go, I don't need a T-shirt. They've got flannel. Cleveland Clothing official flannel.
Well, let me take a look at that.
Don't be confused or don't mess around with substitutes. There's a whole section of Buzzard merch. Get our own section. So no matter what you're looking for, even some people who want to fly the flag for Akron, they got it all there. So CLEclothingco.com. Just use spooky for 20% off. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio from out of state, tell me where you do that. I like to put people on our map of bureau chiefs. I heard from Annie, who is a new transplant to Ogden, Utah. Patty listens to the show in Fort Lauderdale. Tanya is in Clayton, North Carolina. Stevie, Joe, and Josh are new listeners in St. Louis. And this guy left us a message.
Mary, how much for toe sucking? 1 toe. Ain't got to be a big toe. I'll take the pinky toe, little toe. Give me a toe in my mouth. Put it in my mouth.
I thought he meant you sucking your own toe in a video.
No, I think that
He
means
wants
him
to put
sucking my toe.
that bull.
Which is so common. People are like, how
Oh,
much
I
for an
know.
in-person meetup? I'm like,
I
none.
know.
That's murder. I'm
doing
not
it for
that.
free?
I'm not doing it at all.
Okay, I was going to say.
None.
You said none.
None offers.
When
no,
she
thank
said
you.
it's priceless.
No, we're not doing that. Although we did have the indecent proposal talk last night, my boyfriend and I, where it was about stuff like this. My best foot guy quit. I got an email from my very best customer. He just
Now,
emailed
how did
me.
you know? Okay, this was a guy who ordered regularly
Yes.
from you?
And he paid top dollar, and he was the best. Very polite, and he was like, hey, I'm not going to be around for a while.
He wanted the girlfriend foot experience, and you gave it to him, right?
Well, he was like, I'm not going to be around for a while. Best of luck with everything.
Is he being incarcerated? Or?
And that's what I was like, maybe he's going to jail or something. I don't know.
Write
what's
us
going
prison
on.
mail.
See ya. But I was explaining how much money this guy has spent and the things that he's gotten. And then my boyfriend was joking around and he goes, you owe me half for letting you do that.
Joking around.
And I go, letting me, please. I was like, would you let me sleep with someone for $1 million?
$1,000.
$1,000. Your phone just blew up.
Hey, I got that right now. I'll PayPal you. No.
Now there's 4 of us, but we all pulled our money.
It's $250 each. It's still $1,000 though.
Hey, the foot guy's back.
Right. But I said, would you let me sleep with somebody? Let me sleep with somebody else for $1 million. And he said, no. And I was like, really? I was like, I'd let you sleep with somebody for $1 million. He goes, nobody's paying $1 million to sleep with me. And I was like, but he
He saw the movie. He knows how it can explode even the strongest relationship.
He goes, I'm cleaning up the kitchen, and he goes, why do you insist on fighting with me about hypothetical things? And I was like, because I think hypothetical situations show your true character and who you really are.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with going over a hypothetical situation.
Right.
I don't understand why that turns into a fight.
It's not, when I say fight, it's not like we're screaming and yelling
Well, I
at
don't
each other
know.
and
I'm
sleeping
just-
in different beds.
Well, no, but
No.
I mean, you're using the same words we're all using.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but he was like, absolutely
You had a
not.
half of a fight over ice cream.
Yeah.
Did you have a half of a fight over this or a full
Yeah,
fight?
no,
or
this is a
okay.
half a fight.
I don't know how, but you've described hypothetical situations before where the two of you have really gone at it
Like
over
John
something.
Mayer coming to
John
sing
Mayer.
a song.
Yeah.
And I'm
or
like, I
not
don't know
going
why
to
any-
Italy and getting a patio.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody would have a full-on fight over a hypothetical situation.
No, yeah. So he was like,
But at least you know he wouldn't take the $1 million.
and he was like, I see
He
how
wouldn't
you
Woody
are.
Harrelson himself into it.
Because I said it shows who you truly are. And he goes, and who you truly are is money. And I was like, $1 million? Yeah, dude. Like, I'm good
$1
with
million
that.
is $1 million.
He's like, it's not enough to retire on. He's getting all like,
All of a sudden, he's your financial advisor.
know, right?
I'm your sex advisor. I'm your financial advisor. I'm your dairy advisor. However,
What's crazy is I've been in relationships and had sex with other people for
free. Very nice of you.
I am
Didn't
a
cost
charitable
you
good
anything.
person. No, it cost me a lot.
no, but you would earn that $1 million.
Oh,
It
yeah.
probably doesn't seem like it. I mean, it would be a night with a fat, greasy,
Or it could be
unkempt.
like a hot dude, but he's into some weird stuff. You know, it could be like a good-looking guy who's like, I can't find anyone to do these
But
things.
that's not going to help that the guy's good looking.
No, it's not.
No, if he wants that, just balance. That's a wash.
Yeah.
Ugly dude who wants man on top, or a really good-looking
Sweaty.
guy who
Ugh.
wants all kinds of weird stuff. That's a whole other thing.
Blech.
What they want to do some
But $1 million?
scat play.
$1 million is a lot of money.
Would you sleep with a fan for $1 million if Gwen was cool with it?
If she was cool
If
with
Gwen
it?
was like, do it.
You're asking him.
You do it. That's how you find your girlfriends. That's how every
They're fans of the
relationship-
show. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all right. I mean,
I can't help that
why
this
should he?
show is so popular.
You can't go anywhere. You can't date
I
anybody.
can't find any woman that hasn't heard of it.
That's right. That's not his fault. He's fishing where the fish are. If Gwen said, if we get $1
She said
million,
it's $1 million bucks. No
go
hard
sleep with
feelings.
this listener.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'd have to.
It's a big sweaty man. Man on top.
Oh, a male.
Same guy who wants to sleep with me
That's our
wants to sleep
demo.
with you.
I got 2 kids in college. I guess I'd have to do it. Yeah, I don't.
And a third that is gonna. By the time the third kid gets to college, it's gonna be so expensive. You
Well,
might
by
wanna-
then I think
you
college.
might want to get a couple.
By then I think college will just be an implant that goes in your brain.
Right.
Oh, nice.
It costs you $200,000, and they go,
Here
"You're
you
all
go."
done. You're a philosophy doctor or something."
While we were doing this, I threw it in. I was like, what if it's Nick Chubb? He goes, so in this fantasy, Nick Chubb is going to pay you $1 million to sleep with you. I was like, yeah.
Yes.
Like, duh.
In this fantasy, that's what's happening. Nick Chubb is going to do that. He's going to get touchdowns all night, all over my body.
And an extra point.
Yeah.
I had to really think and go over in my head.
No,
what
you didn't.
The hottest person I've slept with. Like I don't know why that popped into my head.
Was
but-
it Nick Chubb?
No, I didn't. No, it was not Nick Chubb.
If anybody ever tells you, I had somebody tell me one time that I was the hottest person that they had dated. And for a half a second, you feel really good.
And you're like, ugh.
And then you go, really?
What's wrong with the people you dated? That's what I would
is
say.
wrong with... Okay, we got to go. Guardians Baseball, 6:10 on the way. What do you have coming up, William?
This Thursday, high and dry. I'll be there, but we're starting at 8 p.m. We did 9 p.m. during the summer. That's done. It's 8 p.m. high and dry this Thursday in Tremont. It's free as always. See you there. And then check out the Bill Squire Show and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Search Bill Squire.
Mary Lynn?
Man, I don't have a show in Cleveland for quite some time. I've got a lot of travel coming up, so why don't you go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mary Santora Comedy. I've got a video that's close to 1 million views on TikTok, and you can see me spray myself with a bidet on accident.
Oh, right, yeah. Poundcake?
Radio Cody B, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and new Poundcake podcast coming to Wednesday.
You're not getting sprayed with anything?
Sprayed?
He goes, sprayed? Like what she just said?
Oh, no, I'm not getting sprayed with anything.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm out there at Alan Cox Show. We'll talk to you again tomorrow around 2. Oh, Brad Gillis from Night Ranger is going to be on the show tomorrow. They're doing that